Hello everyone, welcome to episode 108 of Floating Through Film. This week we are doing another one of our, what do we call it? FTF rejects,
yeah.
Which is basically, we've done an Ozu series before, we've done a Tsai series, but we did not do these two movies. Yeah. So we rejected them.
I mean, because we have...
Hence the names.
We just couldn't fit them in, really. We try to keep to like a 5-week, I guess, formula.
Well, let me introduce the host, Blake.
What's up?
And Luke.
Hi.
But yeah, the 5-week formula.
And sometimes it can be like for directors with like very large filmographies.
Like for Ozu, I did two that weren't even on.
Yeah.
So it's really 4 weeks.
Yeah, pretty much. And like, I mean, Tsai, it's like you almost fit them all in, but it's just like this one that was just like.
Well, it is insane that he left this one out instead of other ones, but I guess that's.
They're all great. Come on. They all
except the fact that this is a top 2 side movie, and except for I'm saying that, and I also left out Good Morning, and it's like
come on, you can't like that.
Because I was gonna say, like, after I watched both these, I was like, damn, this actually might be one of our best episodes.
In terms of
just having two great movies.
There's a few of those. Like Monuncle Playtime.
I mean, Monuncle's kind of like... Monuncle's not as good as these two, I'll just say that.
There's some ones that...
I agree with.
There's ones probably that...
But it's probably not a lot.
These are two great... Yeah, two great films.
Like one of our better episodes.
Two great films.
Bear Tomorrow the Killer, obviously.
No.
You knew I was going to deny that.
Okay, you do. You deny that just on principle. It's action.
Okay. They're two fantastic movies.
No.
Both of those are.
But yeah, my bigger point stands out. There's some great movies we're up to. That's why it's crazy.
I mean, I think we all love both these movies.
Yeah.
Which is definitely it doesn't happen every week.
No, it doesn't actually.
So.
Which is not like we probably have certain episodes where we'd be like, yeah, we did two great ones. Like ones we picked, and the other two people disagree.
Yeah.
But we kind of all agree on these two.
Definitely.
But for way different reasons, honestly. Like, this is like probably Ozu's outside of his silence, which are a lot, like his most comedic in some ways.
Oh yeah.
Or definitely, even though
he's most playful
overall. Like it's playful throughout because all his movies have that kind of playfulness throughout.
Yeah.
But so I guess we can just start with Good Morning, and we'll come back to the side one. Good Morning, 1959, I think. Yeah. So I was kind of honestly just treat this one like because I was going through, gave me a reason to go back to my old Boardwell notes.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Oh yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, it's honestly crazy that he died since last time right after. It's not right after, but
it was like a year or so after.
Maybe Ozu. So.
Yeah.
But still, like I'm still always thinking about that book. So, and I want to read his comic book next.
Yes.
But yeah. R.I.P. But honestly, I'll show a little more honor through coming back to his great book again, and I'll probably come back to it again and again. But before I do that, though, I wanted to ask you guys what you guys think.
Good
Morning.
Funnily enough, this was my first Ozu. I think it was also
your
first Ozu.
Oh sure.
So yeah, this was like before I watched. I didn't even really have like a semblance of who Ozu was, and I actually really liked it back then. And honestly, come back to I love it still, and honestly like. It's like as you said, like it's very like playful, but it's also kind of. I also noticed how loose it was too. It's like it almost like kind of gets swept up into all these like different little like almost vignette structure type. You could say like side situations. Honestly, like this movie is like damn. I kind of want to rewatch like My Neighbors the Yamatos. After this. Like
exactly.
It kind of made me want to do that.
Yes, I was about to say it was literally like the studio.
But also like I love like. So, like, of course I'm going to connect this to Sati because that's what I do. It's, like, I love, like, kind of, like, how, like, what it's going for. I think it's about communication, obviously, like, especially between, like, generations.
Yeah.
And, like, but he's, like, in a way, he's, like, poking fun at differences, like, in a very, like, lighthearted way, like, a very Tati or, like, Romer way. And, like, especially, like, I think my favorite, like, the two scenes that, like, remind me of that the most are, like, when, like, the kids are, like, telling them like, oh, you guys all like they're like basically roasting them for like small talk, basically saying it's like useless. Yes. And I'm like honestly, I honestly like I didn't have that because like I hate small talk. Honestly, it's like one of my least favorite things. And then also like the ending too, because it's like basically they didn't learn anything from like their experience. They're like oh, the clouds look great today, like, and they're like basically, oh, the weather's so nice today. It's like such a good ending because it like it's very much like they didn't learn anything. It's just it's so good.
Yes.
There's so much to this movie that I love.
Yes.
Also the farts.
Oh yeah,
it's a great scene. And like honestly, that's honestly very Tati way because it's obviously the farts are very much not real farts. They're like honestly, they're more like instruments, really. Like,
well, there are certain moments where he actually uses like a trombone kind of.
Yeah, like it's in a way it's like kind of like what Tati's doing with sound.
Because I know you asked, had Tati seen Ozu?
Yeah.
But honestly, I think this film actually answers the question. Ozu definitely saw Tati.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, because I mean, the reason why I didn't pick all 5 Ozu movies, like 5 weeks Ozu movies, was because I picked 2 American movies. For a reason is because he always kept up with American cinema. Yeah. Especially American silent cinema of like comedies too. He loved like the 2 movies one of the movies I picked was a comedy anyway. Yeah. And Little Bitch was kind of that like in between anyway. He's like
it's a silent and it's
he always had he was like Ozu, kind of had these elements.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I picked. That's the main reason. Is like I think he definitely kept up with.
Okay.
Like they have similar kind of like hearts towards humanity almost in a certain way.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially this movie. It's like his most Tati-esque.
Definitely, yeah. That's why I noticed a lot of this stuff.
Because Ozu does have all the emotions. Like Tokyo Twilight's like the exact opposite of this. But Blake, what about you?
No, I loved it too. I loved it more than I did the first time. Also, just because. Well, I mean, the first time, if you don't know who Ozu is, it's definitely a very good introduction because it's just lighthearted and kind of fun. It's very easy to get into it. Like, there's not a lot of, like, serious moments, honestly. Like, all the serious moments are just these kids being quiet, essentially. Oh, yeah. Like, and just giving their parents a quiet treatment. There's nothing, like, bad that happens in this movie, like, really ever. Do you disagree? Okay.
No, there's nothing bad. It just, it's funny, but it's like bad in the moment for the characters involved. Like,
no, yeah.
Because if you think about it a little more, like, if someone does accuse you of stealing, like, all the rent, the dues for, like, the whole neighborhood, that is, like, that would be, like, kind of a big deal, but it's treated all funny.
Yeah.
And, like, it's going to be okay kind of thing.
Yeah, because it's, like, detached from it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and it's just showing how Luca was saying, like, communication is just not that good to begin with, basically. Like, both of these directors, I feel like, know that, because Tsai's big thing is, like, actually talking is not the best way humans can actually even communicate, but because in this one, like, that whole print situation is just all misunderstanding. It just leads to even more misunderstandings.
No, exactly. That's why I was saying,
just
like,
chain reactions.
That's why, it's definitely not a, like, negative movie or whatever, but, like, if you actually think about the plot itself, which is kind of the point, he doesn't want you to think about it too much, really, but it's like, it is kind of like the lesson is, if you want to see this lesson, is like these misunderstandings do lead, like, they build upon each other if you don't actually, like, if you're too invested. Like, for the, like, certain characters in the movie, they're, like, too invested, so she especially the mom, like, the one that kind of starts it all, really, but do you have anything else to say? Because I wanted to start, like...
No, Luke mentioned the one thing that I wanted to kind of say was that, like, I didn't realize how much this one especially felt like Studio Ghibli to me, but it definitely did. Like, just this, like, basically plotless structure of a movie that just shows a family living their lives. Very slice of life, for sure.
Like, Yamada's, mainly? Or
Yamada's and My Neighbor Totoro. Like, honestly, anything like that, basically.
This is the one difference, I would say, because I do think it has that similar feeling, for sure. Like, it's supposed to evoke that kind of, like, just family
childhood, and they treat children.
My Neighbor Totoro has also, like, a similar subplot where the children run away.
Yeah.
And, like, basically...
They just treat children very similarly, too, so... Because I still love in this movie how... Anytime, like, a parent or an adult is yelling at the children, you're always on the child's eye level. So, like, it's like they're yelling down at you too, and you're like, get off our backs, guys.
No, like, the one difference I can see though is, like, you could. I mean, honestly, you really can't, because it's not about even those 2 kids in Good Morning. Like, it's kind of just about the whole situation. He's trying to get, like, because you never know how he's going to cut from family to family, or from, like. He's always keeping you on your toes about which character he's going to come to next. Like, which is, I would say, the one difference between, like, that and, like, a Ghibli movie, where there usually is a central family, you're following, or central 2 characters or something. But, I mean, Yamada's is also very kind of open in its, like, storytelling, even if it is following a family. I can see that one a lot more similar. Yes. Honestly, even just, like, there's like I like watching it this time again because I don't know if you guys remember when I was talking about like Natsar with Money Call, like kind of like just the lines in that movie.
Okay, yeah.
This one is like very similar except for he doesn't move his camera at all, so it's like but it's almost like confusing in a way on purpose.
No,
where it's like you're supposed to get confused on like, wait, which house am I at?
Yeah, you're like,
which family is this?
It's almost like one big family.
Well, that's exactly the point I think he's trying to make, though.
Okay,
where it's like where I get the kind of Yamada's vibes like that, where you're like, you're going from story to story and it's like kind of blurred together.
Yeah.
But he's even like kind of going even more wider, where it's like all these people are like one family in a way because look how they're connected. But like. They're connected even in ways where like people misread each other, which causes a lot of.
And also, it's insane, like how few locations he uses and just how much he like gets out of them. Like all these like limited locations. Because like I don't think you really ever like. I mean, you don't really ever leave kind of this like area. I mean, the train station, I guess.
The train station. I think the translator lives in like a different neighborhood, but you like never leave.
It's like you don't really like. See
it's just like another house.
Yeah.
And a hallway too, which is another great hallway. But, and then you see like the cop's apartment one, but I think he lives in that same place, which I'm gonna talk about that later. It's like a crazy cut. No, because you guys mentioned literally all the points I was gonna mention with Buñuel, but I'm just gonna like say them in the way he says them.
We're so smart.
Because like first, have you guys heard what a Senryu Senryu poem? Have you heard what that kind of poem is? It's like a Japanese type of poem. Apparently it's like a haiku, but it just treats human nature in a satiric or ironic way. And the reason I say that is because he starts his Good Morning section with this Senryu poem, which is called I'll read it, and it makes sense. He says, "Letting rip a fart, it doesn't make you laugh when you live alone." I was like, damn, that's like a good way to summarize this movie too.
Honestly.
But yeah, I wanted to read this because like. I honestly, after I read this quote, it kind of made me like just. I mean, I already really love this movie, but I was like, damn, he's kind of right too. I'll read the quote and you'll see what I'm saying. So, it's quote: "If we regard Ozu as primarily a master delineator of human character, Good Morning can seem only a diverting minor work. But if we pay attention to the film's mixture of topical material, plot devices, themes, spaces, and farts, we can find it no less rich than late spring or early summer." The critic's tendency to rate pathos more highly than comedy must be checked, especially in discussing a film as brazenly odd as this. We will never grasp the complete range of Ozu's work if we do not see comedy in the very texture of his style, and its play between unnecessary rigor and outlandish deviation.
Damn.
It's like, damn, because like, it's almost like he has all these elements in in his other movies, like the low camera thing that Blake was saying, that kind of detached nature which makes it funny. He uses all those same kind of elements in like the sadder movies, which are almost like why he like those create different kind of feelings in us. Where you're like, it's in some ways they're not as sad as they should be. In certain scenes, whereas this one it's like, like they're funnier than they should be because like the way he's using that same style, I guess, in a different way.
Because we're seeing it from a child's point of view, maybe.
Do you think so?
They take the world less seriously, or they don't like. It's like what the parents are saying later. Like they'll understand the importance of good mornings and all that later on in life.
I do think he's trying to make us understand a child's point of view or something, or like why? Yeah, for sure. Like why he like that kind of communication. Like why do we have all these small talk words that like don't really mean anything?
I think it's just funny because everyone's been through this point in their life where they want something from their parents don't give it to them, so they act out.
I think it's especially significant too, like because we always mention how like Ozu has this kind of social, political stuff in his background of his movies, and the TV is like a big one because I was gonna mention I think I might mention on like the Ozu episode, but Buñuel says like how apparently what made TVs get really popular in Japan was there was a huge craze of sumo wrestling, and everyone wanted to start watching it. So like that's just like Ozu's little like kind of showing like this is why TVs became popular. This was like just one example of that, because I think it's like kind of funny how the reason why they run away at the end is literally so they can go watch TV at like the train station.
Yes.
It's like basically you're not going to stop. Like that's basically how technology is. Like a parent can say, "Oh, my kids are never going to use their phones." Like I'm never gonna let them have phones, but they're gonna have a phone by like 8th grade. Like
at least
just they're gonna have to because like just to live in the world, let alone like they're gonna be around it. So if you stop them, they're just gonna go somewhere else and do it. So like it's just that idea of technology was already there in the 50s. Like it was already impacting like
the family unit.
Yes, exactly. Which is Ozu's whole thing. Like, how are all these outside forces impacting this kind of family unit? You know, which is, I mean, you could say that's a lot of Ghibli's, or at least one of Ghibli's major things.
Yes.
But I wanted to mention how this is what Ozu said the movie was kind of about too, because it kind of goes with what you were saying. It says, as Ozu himself explained it, Good Morning was conceived according to the idea that we can talk forever about insignificant things, but when we reach the essential, it is very difficult to say anything. And you kind of mentioned that how, like, literally the end of the character, like, the characters don't really learn anything. Like, honestly, that scene is so funny. We'll get to it. It's one of my favorite scenes.
Especially the music that's, like, playing. Because, like, the music's, like, it's supposed to be this, like, super sentimental moment. But
and it's funny because the mom had just said something to him about that. Like, that same thing. And so you think he's gonna change or something, or like he might realize it, but he's like no. But honestly, that's what it makes to me. It's like it's not the fact that he didn't learn anything. To me, why Ozu's detached like cameras. Well, that is an interesting question. But to me, it's like what's more interesting is like why does that happen in the first place? You know, it seems to always happen. Like, so why is that even happening? You know, it's like one of them mentions like how it's like a small talk can be like a lubricant in the world. Yeah. You know, but that's what children really don't understand yet until they get older. You know, it kind of just keeps things going. When there's like nothing really to say. And because I mentioned that because David Bordwell, and this is the last thing before we can start. He mentions this kind of I think this other like linguistics. I forgot what you call them. Someone who like specializes in linguistics or whatever.
Linguistic.
I think that's it. Yes, I think it's something like what Blake said. I don't know if that's the exact word. I was
like,
that doesn't sound right, so I didn't want to say that.
You just say like linguistic expert.
Yeah, I'll just say that. Yeah, but he mentions how there's something called the phatic function of language, PHATIC, and he says it's messages primarily serving to establish or to prolong or to just continue communication. Basically, messages to just like you really said, keep communication going. Yes. You know, like even if it doesn't have any meaning behind it, really necessarily. You know, and like that last scene is like an amazing example of it. You know, because it's like it really happens in scenes where like to me, I was thinking about that scene like it happens in scenes where people are really nervous. You know, so you go to the most basic stuff to say possible. You know, just to kind of say anything. Yes. Because it'd be more awkward if you just didn't say anything. You know, if it was silent, if those two were just silent there, it'd be more awkward. Yeah. So you kind of have to just say something, you know. So and he calls that like the phatic function of language. So it's like you could say in a way this movie's all about that. Like the kids kind of rejecting that whole kind of function and trying to make up their own, and then getting the TV and kind of going back. But yeah. So like that's why I love Bordwell too because he goes so deep on like a movie that you like on the surface it is kind of just a fun little movie, but that's another thing with Tati. Yeah, like there's so many people that just write off Tati and he's like, oh, he's just a comedy director, you know, like that's all he is, like. But he's like so much more than that. It's like honestly, it's like, oh my gosh, goddamn. Honestly, that's why he's like, because I remember that first quote I read where like most critics, and I don't know, like there's something about it where like most people tend to rate pathos higher than comedy. Well, I think it's like. If something makes you sad or like it feels deeper than if something makes you laugh. Yeah, because the emotions from it, you could say, like, or like the immediate, like. Yes, but you see why? Why is that? Where one of them feels deeper in a way. That's why I guess because you can get those same emotions from comedy. It's like honestly, that's why I love comedy in a way because it's like it's honestly even harder because like honestly, I mean, just watch like a Disney movie, like just kill a mom at the beginning, and like you got most people hooked, you know, because you got a mind that or kill a dog or something, you know, where it's much harder just. Present gags to make people laugh, almost like randomly, you know. Yeah. It's like, at least you know some people would disagree with that. But, I mean, a lot of people say that how comedy is harder to make too. That's probably why we get less and less of them. But yeah, Bordwell compares Tati. He mentions them twice. Like first, because if you notice, like he points out in this one, we don't get Ozu's like intermediate shots. Like between scenes, really. For the most part, he calls them like those empty shots, where we get them a lot more in the other movies. Yeah. And he says that's much more like that's what makes it feel much more like a Tati movie. What he calls like the contiguity principle. Okay. Where Tati's like where just the only thing that connects one scene to two scene is like they're just near each other. Yeah, they're just near each other. Okay. That's it. Or then you have to make a connection. Really, that's what connects them. Yeah. But the way they're actually. That's what makes it feel Tati-esque in a way. You're like, wait, how? Like, because when you first watch Tati movie, which is kind of hard for me to think about now, it's like, especially like Playtime, you're like, what, like when he cuts from the characters, you're like, wait, what did these have to do with each other?
Where do we go?
And honestly, the way they meet is still random. Like it doesn't answer the question of, oh wait, why are they meeting? You know?
Exactly.
Like, why are these two related? So like, it's very or Tati like, I guess, depending on what perspective.
They're the same. You
no, but then he also mentions the score too, because this is a way more lighthearted score. Like, I mean, even though a lot of Ozu's scores kind of have
it's more playful. I feel
yes,
like.
exactly. Honestly, he mentions Tati-esque. That's why I think he definitely had to watch Tati.
Please, I hope so.
He's in the studio being like, we need more Tati sounding score here.
Damn. But I think he died before Playtime release, unfortunately.
He did.
So he saw Monuncle though.
Okay.
Yeah, because that was like 8 years ago before.
He saw two of his masterpieces, hopefully.
Damn. I didn't see Playtime. He was slow. But, no. That's all I said. I think we can start into the movie. Great opening score.
Oh yeah.
I haven't decided which score I want to use yet for the song. So I was about to say like, I'm gonna use it. You probably heard it, but I'm like, I actually don't.
You don't want to cause problems. Yeah.
No, but then the movie's kind of, you could say, is like not framed, but like this. There's 3 instances of this kid farting basically, or them farting on the hill.
Yeah.
So it basically repeats.
Yeah.
This kind of like it like groups the movie back together in a way, you know.
Yes.
But yeah, we see the kid like poop his pants. We get honestly some insane shots of like from the street view of the kid walking like from above.
Oh, okay, yeah, that shot's amazing.
He goes back to that for multiple characters.
It's so good, dude.
Oh god, I love
like how do you even do like? Honestly, it's like such an insane shot to get when you think about it. Like like how to position the hill like that. Like how to like get it to look like that.
Yeah,
it's like it's incredible.
No,
the hill always looks like that. You just have to find the right shot. You know?
Exactly. That's why this is a master.
Exactly.
But yeah, but then we kind of really the main plot of the movie, you could say, starts right here is when the misunderstanding begins, where I forget which woman it is, because like this is where I'm saying where a lot of the mothers start to get confusing, especially this like.
Oh, at the very beginning is very confusing because
you
don't know what mother pairs to what child yet, basically, because they're all like
and
going in between.
And he does. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people be like, "Oh, it's sloppy," or he's like doesn't like. But he wants you to do that on purpose, you know. Like he basically all he wants you to know is that there's a misunderstanding going on and what to do is. Like, and there are like you do start to notice like the one who gets the washing machine. Yes. I don't think he ever hints. He might hint at it. The only thing like in my head. The reason why she wants a washing machine is because this kid keeps shitting himself. Yeah, like, he never says it or anything, but like, it would make sense, you know, because of course she's the one that got it first. But also, it's funny that she's in the movie way more than him. Like, we barely see her son.
Honestly,
she's in it way more because she's the one that basically starts this. Like, well, it's actually someone else telling her that she hasn't paid the dues yet, or the dues never got there.
Okay.
But yeah, so that we kind of get the hint of that. We cross cut to. The 2 main, would you call them main kids, I guess?
I guess, yeah. They're on the poster.
Yeah.
Also, we should mention the little one is like the cutest kid I think I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus Christ. Like, how did Ozu find this kid? Like, honestly.
Honestly, yeah, and he does such a good job, too. Yeah. Oh, damn,
he's so cute. Oh my god.
No, the older kid is also good, too.
Oh, he's good, too.
Which one also has 2 sons that run away? Is it Late Spring?
Well, I Was Born But has the... Which is
kind of early summer. No.
I think it's early summer.
Early summer and...
Because I'm pretty sure it's an early summer where they run away, and then we also see...
The love interest go out to get them.
Yeah,
because I was thinking the same thing in this one, too.
Okay, it is early summer. I was like, is it Late Spring or early
I'm
summer?
pretty sure it's early summer.
What was he trying to do that? He's trying to do that.
He's confusing.
Well, this is another thing where I can't say for sure, but that girl, the love interest, her name in the movie is named Setsuko. So I'm like, I don't know if he wanted Setsuko Hara to play this role, because I'm like, she would have been perfect for this exact role. Damn, yeah. And then I was like, wait a second, she would have been perfect for this role because like this is literally her role in Early Summer.
Yeah, Ozu got you.
But I was like, I don't know if she just wasn't available or something. Maybe I don't know. But,
maybe she's, I don't know.
So like, why else would he name him?
She already made a movie with him the same year, right? Early Spring,
59
or something.
Was that also 59?
I think so.
Are you talking about End of Summer?
Is it End of Summer? early
They're
spring.
all so fucking.
The
Those names are so confusing. Or late autumn? Do you make late autumn?
Late autumn might have been 1959. That might have been 1960.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Well, I know Floating Weeds came out.
Yeah, Floating Weeds at 59. Equinox Flower 58.
What was the end of summer? Was that
61.
61.
okay?
Autumn afternoon 62. 60. God damn.
How do they do this? What?
Yeah, that's
The run he was on is generational.
Yeah, holy shit.
Like, honestly, insane.
Tokyo Story like the worst out of all of them.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's
Let's not bring this up again.
No.
that's honestly damn. Ozu fan that like is kind of a Tokyo Story hater. Like that's crazy.
I'm not a hater.
Oh, you're
I
a
love the
hater.
movie.
He's a hater. He's a hater.
Massive hater.
Massive hater. He hates that movie. So much.
It's honestly one of his least funnier movies. This is why I don't like this one.
Alright.
But yeah, we get to these two kids. We see them for the first. Like this is basically hinting at they're basically not going to give up on watching TV because they're going to the neighbor's house. Another little hint is like, of course, like the young neighbors are the ones that have the TV. You know, the ones that like all the other ones don't like that much. There's like little hints he gives of them being like all hip and stuff, like
embracing modernization.
Modernization. Like she smokes inside the house.
Yeah.
You know, she's a badass like that.
She really liked that.
Yeah, stuff like that. But honestly, it's one of my favorite shots too, because I was like, I don't know if I should use this one, where like he just holds the camera behind the two shoulders of them watching the sumo wrestling match.
Okay, yeah.
Just kind of like showing that like that example I said earlier of like this was like what spurred on TV. Like when we look back in hindsight, I love like little details like that of like sumo wrestling was the reason why.
Yeah.
Like TV would have become big for any reason, you know.
Yeah.
Like that sumo wrestling in Japan being the specific reason. Like I'm sure different countries have their own reason of like, oh, this is what kids wanted to watch, which is why like people started buying TVs and stuff like that, you know. Because like, there's like that. I just remember now, but that TV. Someone says later where like TV's gonna make 100 million idiots or something like that. And it's like he really undersold it.
Damn. Nah.
How do you guys feel about TV? Honestly,
it's definitely inferior medium.
Oh yeah.
Are we talking about that type of TV? Definitely an inferior medium. But
It's interesting too. Like if you go like to old Hollywood, like because like TV like in America kind of came up in like the 50s, but like Hollywood had a reaction to it. So they like their reaction of seeing like kind of TV become popular is like let's go even bigger, like epics basically, and like
I feel like you see that kind of happening now.
Honestly, it could be
Like that's what like Villeneuve said something similar. Like that's obviously whole Nolan's big thing. It's like
you have to make it a reason for people to come out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which is I kind of disagree with that whole thing.
Yes.
But,
I mean, I would like we should not get rid of like mid-budget stuff for sure, and like.
But see, the thing is, cost has a big thing to do with it.
Yeah.
Because I remember Romer saying something like, "My movies aren't even made to be like big. I would rather like just a few people watch on like a smaller movie theater on like a Sunday afternoon watching one of my movies or something like that." Because he shot all his movies like 4:3 or like this kind of aspect, the same as Ozu, which is more vertical aspect ratio, which is not widescreen. It's kind of the opposite of widescreen.
Yeah.
You know, but. Like it's easy to like go to that type of movie if it was like $2 back in the day, you know.
Yeah.
But if it's like the same, if it's like $20, like I might as well watch it at home.
Yeah.
Compared to like back in the day, you didn't have the option to watch something at home, you know. So like either you're watching a movie or like you're doing something else, not visual media.
Yes.
Right. Because now like you have so many options of visual media. Like I wonder what Ozu would like. His movie about phones would have been crazy. You know, like kids getting phones for the first time or something. Honestly. Or like a parent watching anime. It's like, what is this?
No, what's that Ozu quote you posted there? When Americans don't understand Japanese, something Japanese, they say,
they say when Americans don't understand something Japanese, they say it's Zen.
What do you think about like today?
That context of that was apparently like I forgot when you mentioned, or this might have been off air, but anyway, like of all the Japanese directors. Or like the big three of Mitsuguchi, Kurosawa, Ozu. Kurosawa and Mitsuguchi became popular in the West way before Ozu.
Yeah.
Mainly because like a lot of people just saw him as Ozu as like a Japanese only. Like no one outside the West would really like it. Outside of Japan really like him.
Yeah.
But damn, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but that quote was about like finally in the 50s and 60s, Ozu's films started to get imported, and so they were asking him like, "Oh, what do you think about your reactions to all this?" And that's what he said.
like imagine what he thinks about like the people that kind of like fetishize like Japanese culture.
No, exactly.
Nowadays.
That's kind of yeah.
It's like very relevant.
Yeah, honestly.
The weebs. Not all weebs. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not a weeb.
Okay. I didn't know if you identified as one, so I didn't know if
okay, I don't know about that.
I haven't watched an anime in a long time, sadly.
No, weeb is just someone who's interested in Japanese culture a lot. It doesn't have to be anime.
It definitely got reattributed to anime.
Well, yeah, I think that's people assume that. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the actual thing is like you're just interested in Japan a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It's the point is
by that context, you're definitely.
There's nothing wrong with being interested in Japan, but it's just weird when people take it too far. And it's like weird as fuck.
But at the same time, Japan is so cool.
Oh yeah, Japan is cool. I'm not.
They really are.
Just don't be weird about it. Just don't be weird.
It would just be weird if like people that like love Japan but then like hate China or something. Like you're like becoming like a Japanese nationalist.
Yeah.
Especially Japan is like kind of an extension of China. Like they just go back far enough. But
maybe Korea, but
oh yeah, Korea too. Yeah.
I think they're more Korean than they are Chinese. But
oh really?
I think so.
Honestly, damn.
How did we get here?
I don't know.
We were in like the TV set. We're basically they were watching TV. Get some great shots of them. Because another thing that made me think about the sumo wrestling thing before we move is like also like the one thing that's keeping TV today alive is live sports.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
The only thing keeping it alive today.
Honestly, the only thing like if it wasn't for live sports, cable would not exist. Which is kind of crazy, but it's also. It's funny, like, some things never change, you know? Like, it's the same reason TV was popular back then.
What are the two things the kids say they watch on this? Is fucking, like, sumo wrestling and baseball. Like.
And baseball. Dude, I have to mention this, too, because I saw this on Twitter the other day. You know that new Ozu book that came out?
Yeah.
Apparently there was, like, a story about Mitsuguchi coming to watch Ozu in a baseball game.
Oh, no, yeah, I saw that.
Oh, my gosh. And they were, like, saying Ozu was apparently pretty good at baseball.
I sent that to you all, actually.
Oh, you guys sent my stuff?
I think I sent it to you guys.
You might have. I don't remember.
I don't
no, because, I was like, damn. That's crazy. I want to see that.
I wish we had behind the scenes of that.
Yeah. Damn.
Does it say Mitsuguchi also played, or he just
I think
watched?
it's like, I think Mitsuguchi like didn't, or I think it's like, Ozu like made fun of him for like not wanting to play or whatever. I think I missed what might have been. Damn.
But then, we see the kids like leave the house. This is probably another one of that example of like you, especially a little kid. You said is like really cute, like that when he's like leaving their house and he says "I love you."
Oh my god!
That's an example of like him not knowing the meaning behind language. Really, like.
So it's just so crazy to see like Ozu characters say English. I don't know. It's like,
I know.
It's like so weird. Like, but
like, really how can you not like that kid?
Oh my god, he's so.
Like you can come watch TV anytime.
Exactly.
But yeah, then we go back to we get some more plot of like.
Also, we should mention it's also very cute how he like mimics his brother too in a lot of ways, like when they're walking and stuff, like the gestures he makes.
Yes.
So good.
No.
Like.
No, there's like little moments like that throughout the movie.
Honestly, it's so good.
Yeah.
Those parts are definitely the I was born by parts for sure.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, yes. Oh, you guys have already seen those, right?
Oh yeah.
Like. I definitely like this one more.
I think this is better than I was born by.
I need to rewatch that.
I definitely need to rewatch that now.
Yeah.
It's just the color alone.
Honestly, the color is insane. Like,
they
hate silent movies, I guess. D'Angelo sound better than silent.
No, there's some silent that go crazy too.
I was born but goes crazy.
No, I was was amazing.
But we get some more of like the kind of. My notes are kind of confusing on like which mother's talking about. But basically the mother that gets accused, the mother of the two brothers.
Yes.
Basically, she's talking to another mother, and then someone says, "Time will tell who's to blame. Don't worry, it's like a whodunit movie."
Damn.
I was just kind of telling, how he wants to treat the movie in a way. You know, it's like a comedic whodunit.
I mean, yeah, like literally, I was saying before, like sometimes the score he plays when it gets like kind of dramatic, or like when like. People are like, for example, like the scene where like one of the wives are confused on why like the family's like ignoring them when they're like trying to like say hi to them. The score he plays, it's like almost like a whodunit, like spy movie, like kind of dramatic, kind of like.
But it's like
it's like aware of it though. It's like kind of making fun of itself in a way.
Yes,
it's like amazing.
No, it's like both at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like dramatic, but kind of like a. That's why,
playfully. Dramatic.
But see, that's a good way how I see him with all his movies. Where I was saying like even with this more like Tokyo Twilight,
it's definitely
more, movies like that.
Yeah, it's definitely more obvious. Like,
yes. Where it's like, it's like where he takes like a genre like melodrama for Tokyo Twilight, and he tries to bring us back to that kind of little more detached, at least awareness of itself happening kind of thing. And you could say he's doing the same thing with comedy too. Yeah. You know. And in a way, but like that shows love for the characters at the same time, without kind of like making fun of them, which is what I really like. But yeah, we get honestly we get this transition a couple times. But first we meet the younger translator. His like sweater game is like crazy.
It's great.
Oh my god! And honestly, this color, this kind of brown, is just so good, dude. Yeah. But yeah, so we see them talking. I feel they go to his house to learn English too, because I mean he's a translator. They're talking about like how they're learning to fart and stuff, and how like he eats like a pumice stone. Yeah. And they're like, "Who told you that?" And he's like, "Oh, this guy's father told me that." He's like, "He's just making fun of you. He's not serious." And then it shows him. I think. Like I forget if one of them farts in the room, but then it cuts to the actual dad. Okay. And he's like farting at the house, or at the restaurant or something like that, which is so funny because we get that cut a couple times where like the way he transitions from different characters is literally just be a fart. Like.
Yeah. The fart face.
Yeah. But then we meet Shishi Ryu for the first time. We learn he's the father of the two kids. He's also the father in Early Summer. No,
he's the brother.
Yeah,
he's like it's so funny. Like that movie was like, it's like he's the brother in that movie, and brother, like Suzuki Haru's brother, and then 2 years later, it's like he's her like grandpa now. Like it's like he's like your dad now.
He's more believable as a dad in this one though.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, he's believable in all of them. Which makes him
he is very much very versatile.
But then we see. I forget if they asked. I don't know if they asked for the TV on this one, but anyway, we get a repeat. Like that's basically day one, or you can say this is part one. Over part two is once again. This is kind of how the movie honestly has parts. We get another fart where they're playing the farting game while walking to school the next day. This is where I'm saying he uses the fart again because he cuts from them on the hill farting to the dad standing. Getting ready, farting the same way. Damn. And then it's funny because this is the one where he farts and the mom is like, "Oh, what?" Yeah. And he's like, he's like, "Oh, sorry, nothing." And
honestly, this part, when the kids are playing with each other, is also something that reminded me of Tati, Mon Uncle. Because think about Mon Uncle when they're doing the car game or with the games where they're messing with people. It's kind of a similar thing where they're kind of playing a game with each other, honestly, just kind of it's very much childhood antics in a way. Yes. It's poking fun of them.
No, Mon Uncle has one of my favorite moments of that. It was where they're watching, he's with the pole.
Yes.
And they're watching from above.
Oh, that's so good.
But yeah, it's just watching. Honestly, just that's definitely something from from the silent cinema that they both got. I feel of just definitely. The pleasure of just watching a visual gag, it doesn't have to mean anything outside of that. It's just kind of funny on its own.
Yes.
But yeah, we go back to. Do you think this aunt, who I said was supposed to be Setsuko Kahara, and this translator, do you think they ever actually become a couple?
Yes.
Probably.
Based on what?
Based on all their instances of saying good morning together. No, I'm just kidding. They don't want to let anything die.
I don't know if it's ever hit. I don't know if he takes the side. I think he wants you to.
I think he's definitely. They're definitely both interested because she always keeps making plans to. I mean, it's for her job, you could say, but she has reasons to come there that aren't for her job. She makes reasons up to come there.
Does she? I mean,
there's
the kids running away. That's not a made up reason.
And then that was also that they didn't really know that they had run away. She just came to ask if they were there. But an excuse to see him.
Okay. I mean,
but he also didn't have to go look for the kids either.
Because he's waiting for a job, right? That's his main excuse why he doesn't want to, or something. He says he doesn't make enough money,
something like that.
That's why it's up in the air. No. But I think it is funny though, where he like, you think the last scene of the movie could be like kind of resolution. Okay, they're gonna end up together, but the fact like it just kind of stays the same, like or even like he making no progress at all.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's kind of why I asked that. But so then we get like one of the, you could say like the most confrontational scene in the movie where the wash. In my notes, I have her as like the washing machine mother.
Yes.
She's the one that she confronts the other mother for accusing her of stealing the dues. Because she's like, if I would have got him, I would have given, basically, honestly, our natural reaction is if someone accuses you of something, you're going to be like, it wasn't me.
Defensive.
Get defensive. The other mother is like the mother of the two sons. What's her name? I don't know how to describe it.
Ozu characters' names are so.
Yeah, which one's the evil one?
Evil. Okay, see, Blake's like, I want to call her evil because I don't.
She plays the evil bitch in all of his movies. So.
She does, like the more annoying one. I guess you could say annoying. No, I wouldn't say evil. There's no evil.
She's a bitch.
Okay, she's not evil. There's no evil characters in those movies.
Damn, Blake. God damn.
It's not John Woo.
She's the closest. She's the closest thing. She's the instigator.
Okay, that's different though. Yes, but it's because of a misunderstanding. It's not because she's evil.
The one making all the misunderstandings. Go like, I heard it was because of this.
Yeah, she's this. We'll call her the gossip. We'll call her the gossip.
Yeah, see,
it's
the
gossip.
Yeah.
Not evil, but it's like she deserves to go to hell.
In some of the movies, maybe.
I mean, you can't blame her. People are gonna think that she stole it just for the buy the washing machine.
What's the closest Ozu's god to an evil character? Is there even like an instance where he like
maybe the children in Tokyo story? Honestly.
No, the boyfriend in Tokyo Twilight.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, there's some like Dragnet girl, maybe like some kind of early silence, maybe.
Those are villains. They're
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. That's what you're describing her as.
Yeah.
She's the villain in the story.
No, but like the innocent one, we'll say the innocent one's like getting all like she's like shocked. Like, what are you saying? Like
that's the mom of the boys, right?
Yeah, the mom of the boys. Basically, the innocent one. She's like getting shocked, and then I love her. At least the English translation again. She's like, "Don't pretend you don't know. Ask yourself." About the money.
Oh my god.
Because like the fact that it's gonna be her like misunderstanding, it just makes all these scenes funnier too. Watching it again. But yeah. But then like as they're talking, we get this like pushy salesman that comes in all of a sudden, like honestly for no reason. Like,
does he has this character like salesman character in a few movies, doesn't he? Or is this the only one he has it?
He must have one.
I'm pretty sure
he's just fucking funny.
Oh yeah.
Well, wait, which guy were you talking about?
The one with the knife.
In the pencils and stuff?
Yes.
Yes. This guy.
This knife's very sharp. I have pencils, flip plastics, whatever. Wherever
this is like what makes me love the movie though, where it kind of just like lets you just enjoy this kind of like almost like day-to-day life of like this pushy salesman trying to sell in this neighborhood, because he comes to this first house and he's like, he probably like gets excited seeing these two moms, like not knowing the background of them, like. He probably, like, if I'm from his perspective, I might assume they're just friends, talking. Yeah. So the fact that there's, like, this huge confrontation going on between, like, stealing money, so he would never expect that. So he's just coming in the middle of all that. Yeah. And then he starts talking, because they're in the mom house of the two sons. And so while they're talking, the other mom, she, like, finds a good reason to escape. So she, like, it's so funny how she, like, just, like, runs away, like, as the other salesman's talking to her. But then she runs away and goes and talks to, her mom now, who's like praying in like her room or something.
I love this mom.
No, that's what I'm like.
She's a great character.
Yeah, it's like one of my favorite.
She's the one Carmen's Innocent Love too. She's the
president.
Yeah, she's great.
Oh my god, it's like a totally different role too.
It's actually it's pretty similar. I mean, honestly,
it's
like
kind of
like
bat,
basically.
Holy shit! I forgot that was her.
Damn. She's older in this movie for sure.
Yeah. No, she's so great in both. But anyway, like No. Damn. No, but like she comes to warn the mom. She comes to warn her mom about the salesman coming. She's like, "Don't worry, I can handle it." Well, she's like, "Don't talk to her." She's like, "Please don't talk to him."
She wants him to talk to. Or she wants her to go talk to him. I thought.
Oh, is that what she says?
I thought that's what she wanted because she didn't want to talk to him, so she wanted the grandma to.
Okay, but anyway, she comes to talk to the grandma, and the grandma was like. Honestly, like patienting the salesman. Like
she turns the sales pitch on him.
Yeah. And it's so funny because she ends up with a free pencil out of it. Yeah. My favorite part is like the guy's like, I'm done. Like,
this is the lost cause.
And she's like, I got a free pencil.
Well, it's just the guy's like threatening people, and so she just comes back and threatens him.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's just really funny, dude. And you buy it because she's an amazing character actor.
No.
Nothing can hurt this woman.
No, but then they're like sitting, and then this mom, the evil one, as Blake says, or the gossip, she's like, she's like, she doesn't want this to be true.
Yeah.
You can kind of tell. She's like, oh, I just have to, like, she kind of has to ask, you know. She's like, hey, by chance, did you get those dues, you know? Like, and she's like, no, I didn't. She's like, oh, yeah, okay, good. Like, you can tell she's kind of relieved that her mom didn't get them. But then the mom's just like, I love how it cuts to her mom's face, and kind of just watching, and all of a sudden, like, her face, like, realizing, like, she actually does have them. She forgot to give them.
These are the My Neighbor Imadas ones for sure. Like, the moments for sure. Because
honestly, that grandma on My Neighbor Imadas is, like, a similar kind
of... It's the grandma in My Neighbor's the Imadas has this exact same moment whenever the mom says, did you remember to get this thing? And she's like, I forgot.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, he must have. Talk about
I definitely love those too.
Yeah, damn. That would have been a good double feature too.
It's crazy this movie's shorter than My Neighbor's the Imadas, though.
No, honestly. That is. Especially the Senryu thing I said too with those poems. Like this kind of feels like one big kind of, like, it does feel that has that kind of vibe, you know, where it's like it's not about a narrative event really, it's more about just kind of these feelings of a family or something in a way, or families in this case.
Yes.
No, but I think so she yells at the mom. I love how, like, she gets, like, really mad. It's like, oh, like, you're making me, and it's kind of significant how everything she yells about her is basically, like, kind of selfish, for selfish reasons. Like, oh, you're making me look bad, you know, you made me embarrassed, like, what is everyone gonna think, kind of thing. And then she leaves, and then the mom's like, it's so funny, like, I think Ozu in his own way is kind of showing, like, how blame is passed on, because he's like, the mom blames the grandma, and so then when the mom blames the grandma's like, oh, like, she raises such terrible, like, kids, like, why don't she focus on herself? Not, like, realizing, like, she's kind of, like, implicating herself, because, like, if her daughter raises terrible kids, it's kind of like she raised a terrible kid, you know. So, like, but, you know, no one wants to take blame, so it's always, like, you know, kind of passing on to someone else, which you kind of say is one of the themes of this movie too. But anyway, like, kind of what I love that scene is, like, so we get the scene of her yelling at the grandma, and then immediately after she's, like, talking to another lady about, like, all the rumors and everything, and that lady's like, oh, yeah, I just bought something from the salesman. He was so pushy. And then she's like, oh, I'm so grateful to have my mom at my house to talk away to terrible salesman like that.
She's like, better than any alarm.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this kind of, like, because it's, like, kind of detached perspective, we can get, like, almost a swing of emotion of, almost something she probably doesn't even realize of, like, at one moment she, like, hates her mom, and the next moment she's, like, grateful to have her, you know? It's like one of the things I love, kind of, where he's able to shift perspectives like that, where you can kind of see, in a way, a bigger picture than even, like, the characters.
Yeah.
But then we get, honestly, like, one of Ozu's movies with the least amount of drinking and bar scenes.
For sure. I mean, yeah,
but,
makes sense. Because he's more confined to the suburbs. So
yeah, but we do get a couple bar. Well, it's the same bar, but we come here a couple times.
Yeah.
The first time we come, we're Ryu comes, he says he forgot his gloves, but I don't know, he might just want to drink anyway. Because, like, in my notes I put him as the gourd, because he's always the gourd to me.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck, I don't even know what his name is in this one, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
He's obviously the farting dad, actually, because we've already seen him a couple times.
Okay, yeah.
He's like, hey, come and take a drink. He's like, alright.
I guess I'll
twisted my arm, but...
But yeah, he's it's like a little later where this guy's like drunk as fuck. He's like complaining. This is a classic Ozu drunk moment. You know, this old guy. Yeah. It's usually the gourd. It is the gourd in the other one where he's like complaining about how like life is passing by. He says, "No place under the sky to hide. It's very sad." He says it's like empty and futile, and then he like just passes out drunk.
Yeah.
And then. Yeah, it's honestly kind of a sad. Like I was saying, like there's some sad. Like if the music was a little different, or if like the kind of tone of the movie is different, this would be really sad moments. You know, this guy just like depressed as fuck, passing out. I was just like, and it cuts to Ryu just like staring at him too. Yeah. But this is actually also one of my favorite cuts because it shows this guy drunk and he like passes out, and then it cuts to the little kid, almost like the exact opposite because he's kind of asking like, why are we doing all this? You know,
Yeah.
and it's like Ozu's answer in his own way. You know, like he cuts his little kid like right after.
Yes.
But this is kind of where they decide to go on strike.
Yeah. Like the main, like this is like the one thing I knew about this movie going in like first, and I was like, okay, apparently it's about like kids who like go on strike or whatever, like take a vow of silence because they don't get a TV, and it's like, that subplot doesn't even like, or that plot, I guess, moment.
Well, but I like why specifically they arrive at a silent strike.
Yeah.
Because they want to get rid of the TV. I mean, they want a TV, right? But they're trying to find a way to protest. And then, like, this is when Ryu's... This is, you could say, one of the central kind of, this is what one of the themes of the movie is about, where Ryu's yelling at the older son. And he's like, that's too much talking. He's like, kids do too much talking or something like that. And he's like, so do grown-ups. And he says, he's like, in quotes, hello, good morning, good evening, a fine day. And then Ryu's like, you fool. And he's like, where to? Just a ways. Is that so? Just a lot of talk. I see. And he's like, screw that. And I love that because, this moment makes that scene you talk about at the end with the translator and the girl so much funnier because it's like exactly everything he's saying is like right on.
He's like exactly right, yeah. Ozu is like more, he's like empathizing with the kid.
But it's like kids notice that more.
Exactly.
Those kind of like words, like that's if you notice, like kids don't use those kind of words. You know, they're just like very direct about certain things.
Yes.
Where it's like, you know, once you get older, you realize like you kind of just to keep things going, you say the same things that everyone else says.
Yeah.
You know. No, but yeah, this is where they decide, okay, so they're not going to use those words anymore. Like, they got to invent their own language now. Language adults is not enough. They got to invent a film language. Like,
yes, sir.
But yeah, I love when they're like talking about like what to say, what's okay and what's not okay, because they're like, you know, the most important question is farting okay?
The real question.
You can't see us, but we're doing something.
Oh my god. This is the shot of like the little kid doing it. It's like so good.
Yes.
I just love how the parents' reaction to their strike at the very beginning is like, "Oh, this is so nice." They're not going to be talking, but they don't realize how far this is going to go. Basically,
like, these kids are taking it for real. Like,
they are. Well, I mean, like if you're a parent and you're watching this, you're like, okay, they're just gonna strike here. Obviously, they're not gonna take this outside. They're not gonna go to school and not talk. But then they do all this stuff, basically, just causing more problems for the parents.
And I mean, this is one of the reasons Ozu is just like a master, though, is because it's similar to Tati, where you think these are kind of just these, and they are in some ways just these two random things that are going on in this in the story, right? Like this silent strike, and this kind of rumor that's going on with the mom. But like the way he connects this in this moment, where like the kids are going to school the next day. Well, actually, this is later on, but now I'm here. I'm gonna say, where like the kids are going to school and they're not talking. And the room, like the gossip woman's like, hey, like she's trying to say hi to the kids, and the kids like don't say anything.
Yes.
And then she thinks it's because the mom has told them like the truth of what everything had happened.
Yes.
Like the way, just that simple connection of like that's all you need is to connect those two stories to make it a film almost, you know. Yeah. And like they barely touch, but like it just like it has so much impact. We're like, okay, now it's like a film, you know. I feel like it's like a whole thing.
Yeah, it's all connected.
It's all connected, exactly. And it just goes on their own way after that. But like. It starts all these other little like moments he can film after that, right? Just by connecting that one.
Well, showing how not saying good morning fucks up an adult's life, basically.
Yeah, honestly, damn.
Like it really is about that.
Just because they don't say Ohio in that moment, you know.
Just because they don't say that leads to even more misunderstandings between everyone.
Damn, I didn't even see it like that. But yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, but we get like one of my favorite kind of little sequences of the movie is like it's like the next morning where the grandma's like doing her exercises outside or something, and it's like with the music. She's like basically it's like cutting with the music.
Okay.
To like wider and wider shots. It's like close up of her like doing the prayer symbols, and like it goes slightly wider every time to like her mom coming from the street down below to like that shot we talked about at the beginning. Yeah. She comes and she's like, "Hey, the food's ready." And then she cuts to a wider shot of her running back to the house.
This looks like because have you seen Ballad of Narayama? Not the late one, but Keisuke Kaneshida's.
I've seen it.
Because she literally tells her grandma, like in that whenever they were like talking, she's like, "Isn't it your time for your Narayama? Like, shouldn't you go up the mountain now or something?" Really? Damn. And so like whenever it cuts to this like grandma at the top of the hill just doing this prayer thing, it looks just like that. It looks just
so
like
funny.
it.
I didn't even realize that quote. Like I know that story you're talking about.
No, yeah.
I actually forgot which one I've seen now. I think I've seen one of them.
I think you've seen the later one.
Oh, was it the Immoral one?
I think you've seen.
Yeah, it was probably the Immoral one. Yeah.
No, I think we watched the older one like around the same time.
Did you guys? I think.
I'll have to look later.
Like not together, but I just remember we watched it like in like very like.
But damn, that's so funny.
But I just laughed so hard. I just laughed so hard because she's just like, Mom, what are you doing up there or something like that. She's like,
well, no, she says it's time to eat.
Yeah, she's like, get out of here, it's time to eat.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. No, but just the way the camera cuts perfectly to these like water shots, and then it cuts to her running down the street to their own house, and then this is like. Do you guys remember where I said Ozu uses like what Bordello calls a daunting? Well, it's actually not a Bordello quote, but what it's called a daunting cut, where like he'll have certain moments where he breaks the 180-degree plane like totally.
Okay, yeah.
So like in this one, he does. This is like honestly one of my favorite examples. And it kind of goes for the whole theme of the movie where he's showing from one side a family eating. It's this family like after the grandma. I don't know if the grandma's come in yet, but it's this family eating, and then almost like without you even noticing, if you're not even watching, he daunting cuts to the other side. But it's now a different family. Yeah. So like, if you weren't watching, like if you looked away and you looked back, you'd be like, oh, why did you just like break the 180-degree line with the same family? Yeah. You know. But like, it just that Donica is what flips the families. You know. But almost getting that confused nature of like, wait, what family are we watching? Yeah. Like, what side are we watching from? You know, like that kind of confusing part. Like just little stylistic moments throughout the film that kind of keep you on your toes. You know. But yeah. This is where I said I mentioned earlier where the gossip woman gets all nervous about them not talking to her,
and she starts bringing even more rumors.
Yeah, she's like
she holds grudges. Watch out tomorrow or anything from her.
There's a little lesson here just about like just think for 1 second before starting a new idea in your head. You know, like letting your imagination run wild like from the first thing you see. You know, because like. You can tell she's kind of like an impulsive woman like that. Like,
she's a gossip.
Yeah, she's definitely a gossip. Yeah. Which it's like it's kind of endearing to watch, like from our perspective as the viewer. But it's like it would be so annoying to know a person like that, you know.
I was annoyed for her. For all of them.
Because I mean, and we do get little hints because it's first the younger couple. Well, actually, they do move. I think right, like towards the end of the movie. Either they're starting to try to move, or I know they're definitely looking for a place to move. Because they're like, oh, I'm just tired of all these gossips here. And then, like, also the mother of the two brothers, she even mentions that, too. She's like, maybe we should move, too, because I'm, like, tired of all the gossiping going on here. And then she's like, you know they're going to gossip everywhere else, right? Yeah. There's neighbors. Oh, she says, Larry, the aunt is like, there's neighbors everywhere you go. I wonder what Ozu would think now, though, because, like, I feel like people barely talk to their neighbors nowadays.
Nowadays, definitely.
Like, you really don't have to. The same way.
It's very easy to ignore people.
Yeah. Like honestly, just like without like literally just not having AC probably made you like way more open to like your neighbors and stuff. Just having windows open and being outside more and stuff like that. So.
That makes sense.
And then having TVs and like phones and stuff. So.
TVs are a way to bring people together, though.
But they bring them together in different ways, though. Not like but yeah, we'll keep going. We go to the teacher. I think Kirsami must have got like the way Ozu shoots his classroom for like
Okay. For where's your friend's house?
Yes, you know the shot I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like
I mean the whole scene. I know what you're talking about. Or
this but this one specific shot where it's between the two rows of students and and like. We actually see one side raise their hand, and the teacher standing at the front of the room.
Yes.
I forgot to do it, but I wanted to go back and look at see if there's a similar shot where it's my friend's house. But I'm pretty sure there is.
Yeah.
I mean, Kirsami literally has a movie called Letter to Ozu. Does
he actually?
It's called 5. Dedicate to Ozu or Letter to Ozu.
Damn, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
I need to watch that.
It kind of makes sense, especially his earlier movies.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't even know that.
That's why I'm like, this classroom shot, like when I saw it, I was like, this Kirsami. Like, the fact that, like, Kirsami is the first thing that came to my head.
Honestly.
No. But, this is where we also see the son. Like, this is where we see them, like, they're truly dedicated, you know?
Oh, yeah.
This is something, like, this is also something I like about, you could say this is true with Ghibli and Ozu, where, like, if the kids take something seriously, like, the camera takes it seriously, you know? It's not like, it doesn't treat them as a joke or something, like... Yeah. The fact, like, the kids are doing this, it's treated as, like, almost heroic in a way. Like, the fact that they're keeping the strike on. Yeah. Especially this younger kid where he's just, like, doing the symbol and stuff. Well, honestly, I was thinking even with the older kid more because it's like he must have a little more awareness of.
Oh, he has way more awareness. He
like,
knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
is completely
exactly,
wrong.
Exactly.
The little kid's just following his brother. Like,
and maybe a little more embarrassing too. You know.
It's also we also forgot to mention they're both wearing the same sweater.
Oh, they are. Yeah.
So like,
do they always wear? Are they always wearing the same thing?
They do a lot.
Basically the entire time.
But that's like another thing. Like the little brother's always like copying the younger brother. It's like in action and like it's just another way to represent that.
Yeah, I mean, me and Blake both have little brothers. That's also something that happens in real life, where your parents buy you the same kind of clothes. That's true. I mean, you were the younger brothers.
I was like the youngest.
Yeah, you were the youngest. So you'll never understand.
Well, I had a twin. I had twins, so basically, like, we never were bought the same stuff. Really.
Never. Your parents try to. You guys were already twins. They never try to buy you like.
Well, we don't look alike.
But still, like the same shirts or.
We would have never allowed it. Him and I were like. Especially him especially.
Yeah.
Like, no way. Which I mean, I wasn't supportive of it. But, like, he was more open about it.
I can understand that. I mean, no one wants to be forced like that. I'm just saying. No. Let's see, where are we?
No, but this is where it's like
the school.
You don't realize how far they're gonna take it, and I don't think the parents realize either because like. They wouldn't have acted so nonchalant earlier about it, about the kids doing the silent treatment if they knew they were going to carry it to school.
Yeah.
Because it causes them a lot of embarrassment later on. Like,
honestly, yeah.
Whenever, I think the teacher even, doesn't the teacher, blame them for not raising their kids right or something, maybe? I can't remember.
I don't remember that.
I don't know if it was a blame thing, but...
Either way, yeah, you are right. It keeps causing them trouble, you know? Well, there's an example of that is this scene where they're trying to talk after, where they're back at home, and they're kind of basically playing gestures.
Oh yes.
Well, the fact that she gets both the words. She gets money in school.
Yes.
And he's literally showing he needs to eat. I thought she would be able to get it, but she literally gets the words money in school, but she can't put it together. She keeps guessing them wrong, and he eventually gives up and leaves. But it's just another one of those examples of basically just cause them
a disconnect.
Yeah. But then we go to another scene of the hill. This hill comes back over and over again with just different characters on it. We get that old guy and two kids they're doing their exercises up there.
While farting. And the farting's in beat with the music.
This is the one where you're saying
Isn't it in beat with the score?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Where they're bending down and stuff too.
Yeah, it's like another new drum for the score or something. It's hilarious.
I just love these little moments on the hill. Honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly, there needs to be a cut up of just all the hill moments. All the different characters on it. But then we go back to the aunt is talking to the translator, and this is where they're talking about. It's funny that they also have a conversation about this, where the aunt's explaining that they're on a silent strike, and that's why they're not talking. And they're like, I think this is I forget who says which, but I think the translator says our lives would be boring without it, and she says they're kids, they don't understand yet. And then he says, but isn't it necessary in our world? I think so. I think that's a central question of this movie. Is it actually necessary to the world?
Yeah.
I think it is, but, the answer of why is still very vague, you know?
Yes.
Because, think about it. The translator is the one who's always talking about it. He brings this up multiple times. You think he would be the one that knows the most.
Yeah.
And he's still falls in the same trap.
Exactly.
Later, so it's kind of funny. And we're all going to do it. I'm going to do it tomorrow at work, you know? Some guy's going to say good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, man.
You do it every day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was already thinking about this. I worked in an office for a year. And, you would see the same people every day. It's say the same few things, good morning or whatever. But, outside of that, you would never really know them.
Yeah.
You know? Outside of those very surface level conversations. Yeah. It's almost you don't know them except for that.
Yeah.
But, but you just gotta keep it going like that. It's not a bad thing. It's just it kind of that's how it is.
Well, I mean, this is also the conversation where they're talking. Don't they also say in this one the real things that you actually need to say are hard to actually say out loud. That's why we say those. So.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned that's what Ozu said. How the idea of the movie was conceived was, quote, we can talk forever about insignificant things, but when we reach the essential, it's very difficult to say anything. That's basically how they conceived the movie, so it's you kind of get that throughout, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll keep going. So we're they have that conversation, then it cuts to the bar, and this is where they're talking about TV creating 100 million idiots. But this is where I also like Ozu, because you could say oh, see, Ozu thinks that TV's going to create idiots, but then then there's another character that's like, yeah, but drinking and smoking are also a waste of time too, so why worry? You know, it's like it's another thing we're adding to the waste of things we do to waste time. So I was like, what's the big deal? Like, he kind of almost sees both, you know?
Exactly,
like, there are things in the past that create idiots too, like, it's just another thing, so. But, I mean, you know, drinking and smoking aren't, maybe he's not saying those created idiots, but it's like, it's less as drastic as people are always making out.
Well, I mean, there's just a lot of issues in general that's like generational, where like, you know, like, our parents were like, oh, you know, this
like they grew up with TV, so TVs are okay, but then phones are the ones that are really bad.
Yeah, but then it's gonna be a repeat basically of something else. Basically, it's like.
But you could say it's getting worse in a way too.
You could.
I don't know. Maybe. Just in terms of attention spans.
Like, attention span. Yeah, we're cooked.
Yeah, weird. But you could say TV is part of that 100 million idiots thing.
It was definitely a step in the evolution.
Yeah,
probably. But yeah.
But then we get the gourd after he's drunk. He goes to the wrong house.
The fact you're calling the gourd is so funny.
That's why. Everyone's got no.
Yeah. I mean, I thought, it's just funny.
Either gourd or he's gonna be fart dad. So
fart dad. Yeah.
Because he does do that, especially with this guy. Like with some of the side characters, he wants to. This is like definitely something you learn from silent cinema. Like, a side character should be known by their kind of like gag or their kind of feature, you know, so they're easy to recognize. It doesn't have necessarily a name. Honestly, it's easier sometimes if they're not a name, so you don't have to reintroduce it over and over. Because like usually for a name to get stuck, you have to say it 3 or 4 times in the movie itself. But yeah, he comes to the wrong house, like drunk as fuck, and because he sees a little kid there, and he's like, "Oh, you come to visit us, son?" Which is so funny. But then the song like doesn't even say anything. I think he just does the symbol.
Yeah, he just does the symbol.
Which is like makes it even worse.
Oh my god.
But then he goes, and then he actually ends up at the right house. He goes to a different house. And I love this conversation he has with his wife, because this honestly kind of reminds me of a moment that we're gonna get inside, like some of the side movie we're about to do. Because like he comes to his house, he's like drunk as fuck, and he like sighs like, "Oh, finally, my own home. I feel good." Just that little moment, and then like his wife sees him, he's like, "Oh, feeling good. The idea." He's like, "I feel good. Shut up. It feels good." Oh, dude. Because I forgot I was like going back through that Boardwell stuff, like I said, and it was funny where Kogonada's wife, how I mentioned how she said. They had to, before they would like write their script, she said they had to play before they could work. Or so basically, like they had to drink. Like,
oh my god.
Nah, I don't
it makes sense.
No, yeah.
You can see.
Yeah. But then we get, I already mentioned this, where the aunt tells the mother, like, there's neighbors everywhere, you know, so, like, if you go somewhere else, they're just going to gossip about different things. We get the kids, we get a few teapots in this, actually.
We do.
Because there's one where, like, the kids are, like, stealing food. And we get, like, there's, like, a teapot and, like, a foreground. That's, like, they're stealing food. That's, like, great shot. We also see the gourd who gets a job as a salesman.
He's a great salesman.
Does he buy the TV? Is that where they buy the TV from? Okay. See, that's, like, another moment where, like, he kind of just ties these, in, like, very slight ways, the various storylines, you know? Like, the gourd becoming a salesman is how they resolved the TV situation with the sons. You know, kind of like, it's like 2 birds with 1 stone in a way.
It's 3 birds with 1 stone, because then the gourd also, they can also help the gourd out, because he needs money, so.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's like, yeah, because, there's, like, a really good shot where he's trying to sell them stuff. He's like, maybe you should buy something. They're like, oh, maybe. You know, you could tell they're kind of feeling pressured by it. And then, like, after they leave, the mother says, it's time to start thinking about retirement. And, like, it's, like, honestly kind of a side shot, just, like, Shishiryu with his, like, head down thinking, and, like, Ozu, like, hangs on it for a while. It's, like, damn, like...
Well, because, like, whenever she said that, I was like, what?
Yeah,
how old are you people?
I mean, yeah, how old are they? Yeah, because they're, like, both little kids. I mean...
I was like, the dad can't be older than 45. Shishiryu. He's an enigma.
That's a good question. Maybe
he's
he's
anywhere between 30 and 60 in this movie.
Yeah, honestly, that's true.
Who knows?
But then we get, like, another one of the great scenes where, like, the kids are just, like, eating by themselves. They, like, maybe you could say one of the themes of the movie is...
This one's really good, honestly, because this is whenever the cop comes, or whenever he sees the cop, too.
Exactly. Because, like, they make a spill, and then, like, one of them says, a mess, isn't it? And then little kid says yes. He's like, fun, isn't it? And he says yes. It's like kind of like their little rebellions in their own way, on by themselves. But yeah, then then they run from the cops. I guess this is when they start. This is when they go disappearing. This is basically when they go missing.
This is whenever they ran away or whatever.
Looks like, if you think about it, because in my notes sometimes I'll put like the time of the movie.
Yeah.
So like you could say this is where the plot starts in a way.
Yes, exactly.
This is at the 1 minute 17 minute mark.
That's exactly.
So it's like basically the end of the movie.
No, that's what because that's what when I was going into this movie. That's like the plot I knew it was going to be about, and it like didn't happen until like the end. Basically,
it's not the plot at all.
There's literally there is none.
Like maybe that's how he sold it. It's like, oh, kids run away or something.
Yeah, it's like kids being rebellious.
Like, you don't have to worry about it because it's like
they want a TV.
All of this is going to happen in the last 13 minutes. So.
Exactly.
So basically, that all happens. This is what I was saying. This is where we get the one shot of the apartment of the cop. So this is how he transitions to the translator's house. We see the cop chasing them, and we see the cop, and then it cuts to this house we haven't seen before with the teapot, like this green teapot.
Yes.
It's like an amazing shot. We don't know how. Like it's so random, and then it cuts to a wider shot of the cop just drinking the teapot, and then it cuts wider again to the hallway that we have seen. So it makes you think that this cop also must live in this apartment, basically. Because then we see the aunt coming to tell the translator that they've run away and stuff.
Yeah. Isn't that green teapot the one they were drinking out of though?
Is it not the cop? It's in the cop's apartment though.
Well, what made me think of it like this is they left the teapot and everything there, and so the cop brought it back and told them that they ran away. That's how it was all.
So it's their teapot that he's using.
Yeah, that's why I thought.
Okay.
I thought
actually I need to go back and look.
I thought that would make sense. They were drinking out of a green.
That would make it even better, honestly.
Yeah,
because now he's like using their teapot to make tea too.
Yeah,
fucking cops.
Fucking cops.
Stealing your stuff and then using it. Probably didn't even give it back either.
Just didn't look at it. So like that's crazy.
That's honestly great. I need to go back and see if that's a good teapot they're using, honestly.
Damn, I'm pretty sure it
is. That would make it, that makes sense.
It's either green or red.
It's like, it was just two colors. No, but yeah, then they have that conversation. Well, actually, she leaves, and the mother, I think, like, it's the translator's older sister who they live together. Mm-hmm. And they're like, you guys would make she says, like, even, you guys would make a good couple or something like that. And that's where they have that conversation where it's like, for children, our greetings may seem like a waste of time. And then she says, I do it all the time, try to sell cars, I have to. And he says, yeah, it's a lubricant in this world. And then she says, but the important things are difficult to say. And then he says, whereas the meaningless things are easy. It's like literally like what Ozu had said in that interview. Where it's like, that's like literally the theme of the movie right there. Yeah. But it just makes it funnier. This conversation literally happening, like, oh, okay, they learned the lesson, and then never mind. But this is also another one of my favorite transitions where we get a clock of it's the clock of in this house with the translator. I think it's a green one. Yeah, it's their green clock with like a light in the foreground, and then it cuts to a different family's house with a red clock and a light in the foreground. That's how we know we're in a different house now. And that's when that's the two brothers. Mother's house, because then the door opens and the translator arrives with the son's like, oh, don't worry, your kids are fine. Like,
we wrap this up in 2 minutes.
But it's like a little hint, but what he says, they were at the train station watching the TV, and like, I just love that idea of like, kids are gonna find a way to do what they want, especially if it's all around them, they're gonna find a way, especially when it comes to technology. It's like this unstoppable force, on your kids, like. It's like just finding a way to kind of live with it or like manage it, which is, I guess you could say, his way of they buy a TV finally.
They did. It was there waiting for them whenever they came.
Yep, exactly. But I love the reveal too, because it's like it's kind of like a silent reveal, even though there is sound. Where it's like we're not revealed that there's a TV there. Like we get the reveal the same way the kids do, because like the kids they're all sad and stuff, but like. They're also kind of like the parents aren't as mad as you're expecting them to be, and so they're like, okay, we're gonna go to our room, and so then they're walking to the room, and that's where we see the TV in the hallway, and they kind of turn, they're like, oh, and that's when they freak out in the hallway when the TV's in the hallway. Yeah. I just love that little moment where it's like we get the reveal the same time they do. Yeah. But they're like celebrating and stuff, and this is where I know how you said, like, and we've been saying it multiple times, how, like, they don't learn a lesson in the end.
Yeah.
But this is where Buñuel says this scene where you could say at least the kids might have learned a lesson.
Yeah.
Because he says, I don't know if you remember where the dad says, they're, like, being loud again. Of course, they got the TV, so now they can break the silent strike. They're, like, being super loud. And he's like, if you're so loud, I'll return it. And then the kids, like, we never see Shishiryu's face, but the kid's looking at Shishiru, and he says, he's lying, his face says so, he's smiling.
Yeah.
And then David Wardell says, you can see that as the boys' crude semiotic system has sensitized them to nonverbal cues. Or basically, like, their experience has taught them, like, how to read different ways of communication, you know? So even though he says he's gonna return it, like, his face is actually saying the truth, kind of thing. You know, which is maybe a lesson of the movie, like, words on everything. But, then we get these kind of last couple scenes of kids going to school the next day.
Saying good morning to everyone.
Yeah, they're saying good morning to everyone, basically, like, breaking the rumor, like, the gossip woman's, like, whole kind of...
Yeah. The world is right again, basically.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. They're on the hill again, the kid poops a pants again. Kind of rounds the whole movie.
I missed it. Yeah, that's right.
You missed what?
I was saying, I was missing the poop.
I love how this kid's just not in the movie outside.
Yeah, I know. It's like his only function.
Yeah, it's like literally his only...
Just shit yourself. You know, go out there, do your best job.
You don't even have to because the sound's going to be added later. So. But then when we get to the famous the scene we kept talking about with the aunt and the translator talking at the train station.
It's like the score.
And it's like a very early Summers vibe too, where they're also at the train station talking. It's just so funny too, because like it's also one of the classic examples of this kind of phatic function of language is the weather. Like that's one of the main things people talk about. So the fact like I'm pretty sure he mentions like a different aspect of the weather like 3 or 4 times. Because it's like so funny. He's like a fine day, isn't it? And then she's like, yeah. It's like it'll be nice weather for a while, won't it? And then the best one is like that cloud's an interesting shape. And then he says, and then she's like, yeah, it's interesting. He's like, it looks like something. Just like so good.
Bro, say nothing.
Yeah, exactly. He's children. What is bro? Oh my god, yeah, it's just so good. And there's like this awkward silence where they're both looking at it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because he's like, it looks like something. He's like, yeah, something.
Something.
No, dude. Yeah.
I think that's what you were saying with Chicharyu though. Whenever we didn't see his face though, like this is. They're not saying what they need to say, but their faces are definitely showing what they actually honestly feel. Yeah. So, or
the fact that they're having this kind of surface level conversation is like revealing the true kind of how they feel about each other.
They don't want this. They don't want this moment to end, so they just keep on making up shit about clouds. Apparently,
they want to fuck.
That cloud looks like something.
It's a message.
And then honestly, some of the best last shots of we come back to this kid who's now at home. His mom is washing his pants again. He's like, it's a great shot of him sitting with like this hula hoop like on the left side of the frame.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to like just the clothes in the wind being dried, and that kind of ends the movie. Great movie.
It was a great movie.
5 stars?
I might vote for that one.
Yes.
But yeah. So that's Good Morning.
That is
we will come back with I Don't Want to Sleep Alone.
கண்ணன் கண்ணு படத்தேன சொரக்குது கையில் நீ எடுத்து மெல்ல தோளில் மாலை கட்டு
மஞ்சள் எல்லாம் வானத்திலே அந்தியிலே ஒட்டி பிச்சு
செண்டு மல்லி தென்றல் காத்து அடிச்சதும் கண்ணு திறக்குது கண்ணன் கண்ணு படத்தேன்னு சொரக்குது கையில் நீ எடுத்து மெல்ல தோளில் மாலை கட்டு.
We're back from the break with our last side feature, I Don't Want to Sleep Alone. Rejected by me apparently during the Psy series.
Apparently, there's concrete proof you rejected it.
No, yes. We did reject this from the series.
You didn't think it was good enough.
Okay, let's calm down. I did like The Wayward Cloud more than this upon whenever I first watched them, which is which is why I switched.
I didn't love this movie on first watch.
I did not love this movie on first watch, which I watched this along with all my other side movies, so I don't know why I didn't like it.
Damn.
Like I honestly don't, because that's literally what I said the second time I watched it. I watched it again. I was like, what was I not liking about this movie? Because my first review of it was like it was just like dull and boring, and I was like, what the fuck?
Did you delete it?
No.
Oh.
No, I don't. I'm not a coward.
You didn't pull Luke. Yeah.
I'm not a coward.
AKA Luke, you mean?
I rewatched it. AKA Luke.
I'm
getting called out, dude. I was not saying that. No, I mean, I like to. No, I like to see what my thoughts were back whenever I first watched a movie like this.
No,
because there were some movies. There were some. Oh my god. No, because there were some movies obviously that I loved with Psy. Like I loved Vive on first watch. I loved Rebels especially on first watch. Like I loved The Hole. But there were some that I also didn't like as much, and this is one of them. But watching it again that second time, I was like, holy shit, dude. I don't know why I didn't like this movie, but it's definitely one of my favorites. It's in my top 5 all the time, basically. Sometimes it is my favorite, but I mean, Psy was cooking in the 2000s, man. He was cooking in the 2000s.
Honestly, it might be because it might be the hardest to figure out what's going on.
Yes, on a first watch especially, because you're very I was very confused the first time watching it.
It's very dreamlike in that way. It's super
it feels like a dream, and it ends like a dream too, which we'll get to that. But I mean, like, so you don't know like what you're even watching on screen. Yeah. Right? That is a good point. Like you don't know
compared to like Viva L'Amour. Like,
or just like Rebels. Rebels was just
all
like straightforward. But I do personally love I Don't Want to Sleep Alone. It's one of my favorites, like I said. But before we actually get into anything, this is also an interesting movie just in Psy's filmography because he is from Malaysia. He's born in Malaysia. Yeah. And so this is a movie, and all of his movies in Taiwan feel like a man who is a migrant telling a story of a city like he's never felt a part of, basically. And all of his characters don't feel a part of the same, like, city, basically. Even though they're living in the city and it should be easy to connect. Like, they can't connect with anything. And you can tell, like, that's something in Psy's filmography, obviously, is like he's felt that way about living in Taiwan. He does feel like a transplant. That's one reason why he's so good at doing stories like this, especially.
And it's also interesting that he's called a Taiwanese director.
Yes, one of the Taiwanese New Wave, whenever he's not even natively from Taiwan,
But yeah, no, that's what makes it interesting. Yeah,
I mean that's one reason why he doesn't consider himself part of it. But
yeah.
But it also makes sense why he's considered.
Yes.
Like, he was part of that group at least that was making films. Maybe they should have a different name, but like
he was making
maybe Southeast Asian.
I mean, his movies also were really about Taiwan.
They were about Taiwan.
Literally.
Well, see,
about
his use Taiwan a lot.
But you could say like okay, I've only seen one Hao Xiaoshan movie, but one Edward Yang movie. But you could say those are more specifically about the politics. Versus this is more generalized. Like, yes, you could like obviously he's using very specific locations, so you could in that way you could say they're very political in that way. Yeah. But at the same time, like, I don't think he's outwardly political in the way some of the other ones.
He's outwardly political in the way he depicts his characters, especially their sexuality and stuff like that.
Stuff like that.
Especially stuff like that. But it definitely can be like more universal. Like this is just a city. Like it doesn't have to be Taipei most of the time. Whereas like in like Taipei story, obviously it's gonna be about Taipei. Like, but like Rebels, that takes place in Taipei, but it could be in any other just big city that's booming at this time. Also, really, because that one's just about trying to find connection to big city, basically. Yeah. But that's also what this one's about, basally.
I mean, literally a side movie called I Don't Want to Sleep Alone is like the most side title of all time.
It really is. It's one of the greatest titles of all time, too. Let's go away right now. It's one of the best. Everyone feels this way, but...
Wait, who was it that, like, And I think it was the end of last episode when you called it "I don't want to sleep alone at night." I had to bring that because that was so funny.
Honestly, in my head, I still say at night sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
You confused by "They Live by Night"? You combine that and "They Live by Night"?
They Live by Night. Maybe something like that. I don't know.
Honestly, that's so funny. But
I don't want to sleep alone. It is one of the best. It's honestly his best title. Honestly, Rebels of the Neon God is amazing.
What time is it there?
Okay, fuck.
Goodbye, Dragon.
No.
Come on.
Not the best part about the movie.
Stray Dogs.
Oh, that's part of the movie.
And Days.
I mean, Viva L'Amour is like in English. Viva L'Amour, honestly.
I mean, I'm sure if I search Days on Letterboxd, there's probably 100 movies with that.
Yeah. He's a great. But none have the actual meaning of a day.
I mean, you're not wrong.
The way he's selling that.
You didn't see why I did with my hands.
So I'm in a YouTube video, so we could have got that.
That was so funny. You're like the salesman in like fucking Viva L'Amour. It's like that's not dead.
No, you're right.
But yeah, what do you guys think about I Want to Sleep Alone?
Yeah.
Before we get into anything.
See, I didn't love it either on first watch. I still really liked it. But yeah, I definitely loved it more. Like, and like I'm still like this movie's still kind of a mystery to me. So like I'm honestly interested to see like your guys' like interpretation of what's going on because it's like there's a lot of that, as you said. It's like it honestly isn't nearly as straightforward as other movies. It's kind of like it's very like dreamlike and like it's like, but like it's so fascinating. Like the mood he creates, like it's like that dreamlike quality with this like very like dirty, like foggy kind of like it's obviously like contemporary. I feel like, but it's like it almost like you can almost like see it as like a dystopian like.
This one to me feels a lot like I know that we're going to mention Tsai's like usage of like Indian songs in this, but he also has said he likes Indian cinema. And there are some scenes in this where he's playing some Indian songs as like Kong and Chi are like walking in the smoke, and the guy's just like watching them walk away, where he's playing the music with him. That's like straight out like a Bollywood musical. It feels like, or just like a music, like a classic. Like,
so it's kind of similar to The Hole in that way, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But obviously this one, it's not as Hole's much more straightforward as what you're saying. But
yeah, I loved it. The music feels as powerful in certain scenes like that.
But yeah, I loved it. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if I even love it more when I rewatch it eventually. So, yeah.
I love this movie. Obviously, it's kind of crazy that you didn't pick. No, I'm kidding. We've already talked about that. But
you can't say, when Good Mornings, we just talked about Good Morning. You can't say that.
Like, exactly. I rarely give movies 5 stars on my first watch because I usually like rewatching. But like, Tsai had 2 for me that I did. What Time Is There and I Don't Want to Sleep Alone. Like, I think
those are the only 2 you have 5 stars too.
Yeah, I think. I mean, they're easily his 2 best.
Takes his other movies.
I would not say easily his 2 best, but they are 2 of his best. Yes.
Pretty easily. Yeah.
They're tied with 10 others, but no, I'm just kidding.
But so yeah, this was a great rewatch, and like honestly, the first time why I gave it 5 was a lot of it was feelings based too, like just the use of the Indian songs and kind of like this idea of like the immigrant experience. Like you see a lot of this is apparently the Bangladeshi community that have migrated there.
So this was actually censored in Malaysia because of the way Tsai portrayed Malaysian natives.
How they
actually treat Bangladesh migrants, basically.
Yeah. Damn. No, because that like this is it's almost like I know this is because we just talked about Ozu, but it's kind of. Like how Ozu treats, how the camera treats the situation a certain way. It's like, especially at this beginning where we see it's like a gambling ring or something. Where they're definitely scamming these guys.
Oh yeah.
And like you feel really bad because like this is true with a lot of migrants across the world where they go to a different country and they get scammed or they get taken advantage of and stuff because they're away from home. Yeah. And it's like almost like Tsai's kind of making, it's like a very obvious example of this where they're obviously he's just saying, oh yeah, definitely you're gonna win money and stuff. But like the way he makes you try to figure it out is like so detached. It almost like it's like underplaying actually how serious in a way, you know, it is for the characters.
Oh yeah.
And then the fact that he skips like the actual getting beaten up. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting into the movie. The fact that he actually skips the beating up stuff, like it just kind of feels like how we just talked about Ozu. You know, it's like almost underplaying it in a way, makes you like wait, did that actually happen? You know, it kind of makes you engage with the content like in a way that like a normal film wouldn't. It's almost like the opposite of a normal film wouldn't. But then like the real reason I love it just kind of just the different kind of small moments you get throughout the movie where like you can tell like it's like it's not about one thing. It's all these like little moments. Like honestly, a lot of Tsai smoke. As we talked about in the Tsai series, it's just like bunch of just like little moments of life.
Yes. He's a moments director also for sure.
And like honestly, this movie is kind of just like made for me in some ways. It feels like because I went and read an interview he did with after this movie came out with Michael Gillen, but I forgot what the website was. But let me read the quote, because there's actually a couple I want to read, but let me read this first one. So, quote, "I always hoped that the audience would find these small, subtle details in my movies, because you don't see them elsewhere in other movies. Movies nowadays are all about stories. They're in a hurry to impress you with a storyline. Within your lifetime, you have to hear thousands and thousands of stories. We often forget to reflect upon the small things in our lives. That's why I believe my movies are important." It's like, damn, like, that's exactly what this... That's like, all the best moments in the movies are like that. Like,
it is.
They're almost like... independent of any story that's going on, like
there is.
That's honestly why this movie's hard to watch. Maybe the first time, because it's like, and honestly, why I say it's like designed for me, because I'm always talking about it. No, but it's like you're trying to grasp on stuff. Like the fact that the key event of the movie is like totally skipped over, right? Him getting beaten up, and then him actually getting picked up.
Yes.
Those are like two of like the actual key moments you would see in a film, like the dramatic moments, and he just skips over them, to where you had to figure it out in your head after, or like you could just be like, well, I don't know what's going on in the rest of the movie in a way, which is also possible. Because like, why does he keep showing this guy in a coma too?
Yeah. No, yeah, that's one thing that's very confusing just in general about it still, because like you can read that as just like I read it, you can read it like literally where. It's just two experiences of like migrant people, or like how like care is different between these two different types of people essentially. Yes. Like one of them is an invalid. I mean, one of them's an invalid. We'll get into this, or paralyzed at the very least. I think he's brain dead. I mean, he doesn't talk or anything. Like he can't talk or anything, so you assume he's brain dead. And then we have the homeless man. Yes. They're both played by Kong, so you could easily say that they're the same person. Yes. Which. That's also a reading of it. Like this is like a reading of it is like very surrealist. Like this is just all in the paralyzed man's head. Yes. Like it's just his dream of not wanting to sleep alone, and this is like what we're seeing essentially. And I mean, the ending definitely kind of plays like that too, in some ways. But the literal reading could just be also like this is just two different types of care that you would see between two different types of like migrants, because Chien is a migrant and the man taking care of Kong is also a migrant in this place. So. It's very interesting in that way, because like the man's care for Kong is so much more like familial, like loving than than like the clinical care that you see like Chien, who's a nurse, an actual nurse.
There's a scene we'll get to that he like very contrasts the two scenes so starkly, like you have to know.
He does it all the time.
He does it. There's one that I just love too, but it's but yeah, we'll get to that. But damn, I was gonna say something. No, I forgot. But yeah, was there anything else you wanted to say?
No, I mean we can get into the movie if you want to.
Yeah.
If you don't remember what you want to say.
Yeah, I'll remember as we go through it.
No, yeah, you probably will. But I mean, it does open with a shot of the envelope patient playing with like just music playing, which this is something we've gotten out Tsai. Obviously, like we haven't done Tsai for a few months, but like. We're just gonna like float through this, because Tsai just floats through his movies, and this is one of the ones where he kind of just floats through. Like you're just watching 5-minute long scenes.
And what's the name of our podcast? What's the name of our podcast?
Exactly.
Oh my gosh!
I'm glad you said float, because it kind of triggered what I said. Because have you heard of the critic Robin Wood?
Yes.
She apparently loved this movie and like kind of loved Tsai. But she wrote this review called. Is this she, right?
I think it's a he, actually. That's why I was confused, because I want to read his book on hawks.
Okay, I think it is a he. You're right.
Yeah, and River.
I don't know who I'm thinking of. But anyway, yeah, it's a he. But anyway, he kind of suggested that maybe this I is Tsai himself. Like the I and I don't want to sleep alone is Tsai himself. Okay. And the person in the coma is supposed to be Tsai, also having this kind of like just dreams and thoughts of like this other Lee Kang character.
No,
and I kind of like that.
I like that.
Like that interpretation too, because I'm sure you guys have both seen that like that quote I have a money call on my Mind of Clay like pinned on my review on Letterboxd, where it's like the film is the experience kind of, where he says like basically film is an experience. An experience is three things. It's deep sleep, waking, and dreaming. Okay. And that's all experiences. And he says the film is an experience. And if you think about like Tsai as the guy in the coma. Like this whole film is like that. It has deep sleep, it has dreams, and it has like waking life, almost just in this like weird combination.
Yeah. That
like honestly, it's like that's why I said like it reminds me of that quote because I mean it's one of my favorite quotes of my cause, and it's like it kind of has that approach to. That's why it's like, is it a dream? Yeah. Is it a film? Yeah. It's like, is it about real life? Yeah. It's like about all those things.
It's about everything.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like this weird combination that only like Tsai can make. You know, it's like almost like how he sees it in a way.
No, I do like that for sure because I mean the ending definitely plays like it's a dream that this one man is having basically.
Yes.
And I do love because we've talked about in the Tsai series how like he uses the God's eye view, especially like to show how like his characters seem to be trapped, and nothing more so in this one.
Well,
like
this
one
this
is
place they're in
trapped.
at the end.
Oh, yeah.
This weird ass building with these stairs
Dude,
going. This is weird, like the random ass place. Like, what the fuck is this place?
Dude, that place. I don't know what location he chose because we're gonna get to the to obviously. I just call it like the chasm, like with water. I have no idea. Like the person's heart. Like, is that what this is supposed to be? Like, I have no idea where they found this.
Yeah, honestly.
In Malaysia, but like, fuck, dude. Like, it's like.
Wait, is this the place where they're floating?
No, yeah, it's just like that giant, like the giant, like basically.
Is this the same?
Lake
Is this the same place from
Adorning.
Stray Dogs? Is it the same place?
I don't
from
think so.
They're similar places.
It's definitely similar, but Stray Dogs takes place in Taiwan.
Are you talking about the Stray Dogs part where they go and stand for like 10 minutes and look at that?
Yeah, like that whole like.
I don't think it's
that
the
one's
same
in Taiwan.
place.
Okay,
because this one's in Malaysia.
Okay.
It was filmed in Malaysia too.
It didn't seem like it has the same kind of. See, this is how Tsai approaches all these kind of like weird abandoned buildings.
Yeah.
Almost like they're kind of like abstract art, like
they're almost dreams
like,
too. They're almost like
exactly.
Dream, yeah.
It also looks like the holes, like you said earlier too. Like just these decrepit buildings that run down.
Yeah.
But honestly, he makes them like amazingly beautiful though. That's the problem.
It's insane.
No, I'm kidding.
It's not a problem.
There's like this insane shot where like these like stairs are all going this different ways.
Oh, we'll get there.
Because we see like
I just like it's whenever it's.
We see them as a couple walk like
This
one
movie
way,
just
and then
is-
like the
it's
other
so
waitress
good.
like walk the opposite way.
Like just branching paths,
Yeah.
like
She like walks in the water at one point, like literally like trapping them, like you said.
Yes. Well, because like that's something like you said earlier. Like Tsai likes people to reflect on his movies. Like their movies about reflection. Like what does water do? It reflects everything.
Oh, I mean he's like
He's
one
also
of the water
somebody.
directors.
He's also one of the water directors.
Him and like Tarkovsky.
Which is one thing why
He
we'll
one of
get
the water
to it.
directors, honestly.
Water directors. Malik.
Which ones are you thinking of?
I don't know.
Like all his movies. I mean, Malik, anything with nature is like Malik.
Okay, nature is different than just water.
But he has some crazy water shots.
Maybe to go not too off track, I do love how Tsai uses his water though.
Okay.
Because his is very unique. Because I love how his is almost like his water is a lot of times is not nature. You know, it's almost like
It's man-made water most.
or
of the time.
it's like nature getting in the way of like these man-made environments. You know, it's kind of like breaking.
Or it's just
through,
like breaking
Yeah.
through especially.
Yeah.
Breaking through pipes.
So maybe it's still
flooding
nature
houses.
in a way. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, but there's so much water. Yeah, so obviously water plays a big role in this one too.
No, yes. But yeah, after we see that, like, we're still at the very beginning. Like, after we see just this, like, few-minute long shot of just the envelope patient just laying there, we get to, like, the actual, like, opening of the movie and kind of what Danny was saying would be a key moment in real movies where we just get, like, Kong basically making his way around Malaysia. Like, I think this is they're in the capital of Malaysia. I don't remember what it's called.
Kuala
Kamal Umpar.
Lumpur.
Something
Yeah,
like
I
I think it's
that.
Kuala Lumpur. Yeah.
It's something like that.
I think
but-
I might have been there.
Oh.
I was like so young. I don't know.
Yeah, you're really
So
young.
young.
Wait,
But yeah, it's the capital of Malaysia. But he's just basically walking around the capital of Malaysia right now, just finding things to do because he is a migrant. Like we find this out later.
Yeah, I was
but
right. Yeah, Kuala Lumpur.
Kuala
Lumpur.
Lumpur.
I can see it in my head. I just did not want to attempt to say it because I've messed it up.
The last two words.
Kuala Lumpur.
Kuala Lumpur.
Lumpur. Yes. But yeah, he eventually makes his way to the main event, which is like this like gambling den, basically, where it's just like street gambling, essentially, where this guy is just ripping people off. And afterwards, like we do figure out like he is ripping people off because he's telling them all how much he owes them, and like to just pay him like the money, and then they like get to Kong eventually, and he doesn't speak the language. He doesn't have any money. He has literally nothing, and so they just beat him up. But we don't see them beat him it cuts directly to like these dudes just carrying a bed.
completely different guys.
Completely different
which
guys.
is like, it would be hard to like. Honestly, your first thing is like it has to be the same guys or something, you know. But
nope, completely different.
Yeah.
People we have never seen before.
Like this is like stuff you have to watch further on to figure out this stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
So like this is the one thing I think I have the quote written a little later on, but this is like one thing Tsai likes to do is like he likes to almost like he wants you not to know what's going on purpose, just so you really pay attention to the image theoretically. But a lot of times that can just make people tune out, you know, or he doesn't know what's going on, like, or it's like bad editing in a way, you know.
No,
like,
there are a lot of moments in this movie, especially where you're watching something on screen. You're like, "Why am I watching this?" And then you just all of a sudden see, like, you see Kong standing there. You're like, "Oh, that's why we're here." Basically, it just takes you a while to figure out he's there. Like,
it's like one little bit where he's like watching them cook and stuff. Yeah.
No, yes, that.
But really, that's the whole point. It's like, in a reason you're saying, "Oh, but that's the reason why we're watching," but that's not supposed to be. The real reason is supposed to be like to kind of just reflect on, you know, like watching some guy cook on a street corner or something. You know?
Yes, like that's one of the first things that happens in this movie is Kong just watching that streetwatcher. It's classic. Like it's what Tsai loves to do. Like he loves to do. He loves to do shit like this.
See, that's where it kind of makes sense. Where like that guy in a coma might be just like almost having this dream or like dream / like inventing characters of just what he wants to do, you know, or what he misses or something like that, you know.
You could read it a lot of different ways, honestly.
And
I love every reading, honestly. I love all the readings we've had.
Yeah.
That will continue. But yeah, like as they're carrying this mattress home, they're about to cross the street, and we just see this dude like stumbling around. We see it's Kong, obviously. You assume he's been beat up because I mean, he after how the last scene ended, that's what Tsai's basically trying to tell you. He got beat up, and he's stumbling around. He falls and collapses into this grass, and this is where you're like kind of wondering like, why does this guy want to actually stop and help him? Because we find like they're walking by, one of them says, "Oh, it's not our problem, let's just leave," and then like you just hear off screen, because they actually go off screen, you just hear off screen like, "No, wait, stop, we have to go back," and then it just cuts directly to them carrying the bed into their house with Kong in the middle of the bed, gosh. Like cocoon in the bed basically. But you're just like, why did he help him? And that's one thing that you ask throughout this entire movie, honestly, because like you never have a real answer why. It's just like that's just kind of the guy he is. And there's some things like on his walls and stuff that you see like maybe he is just this type of guy. Like he has the like "I love you." I love that like shot of like the "I love you" rose. Like he has like the poster hanging like right there as he's taking care of Kong in his room. He has like a bunch of Buddha. I don't know if it's Buddha or Hindu icons around his room and stuff, but he might just think that this is a guy that would do something like this, or maybe he had something like this happen to him whenever he first came to Malaysia. And
all these thoughts come to your head about why he helps.
Yeah,
I love it because to me, like watching this time, because I had the same kind of question, and it's a little later on and it was kind of in my head because I watched The Messiah a few weeks ago. But I thought about the Good Samaritan story because I was like, this is kind of like the Good Samaritan story in a way. Like, why does this guy help him? It's like.
In my notes, I just have him as the kind man.
Yeah, the kind.
Because that's kind of how he is.
Basically, the Good Samaritan.
Like,
you know, that's basically what that whole story is. It's like you don't need any specific reason to help a person on the side of the road. You know. But yeah, that's kind of like what I was reminded of, because it also is like they're two different races too.
Yeah.
You know.
They are.
Which is kind of like, it's significant in the way like, because Tsai doesn't point to. Let me just read this quote because it's in my head. Like in the Robin Wood article, it's called Sleep Therapy. He says, he mentions this very scene, and he talks about it where he says, there's no place in a Tsai audience for a passive viewer. At no point during the scene are we given the customary nudges. And he says, quote, "Watch this, it's important." Like, you know, in certain movies where, you know, okay, don't worry, the music is rising, it's close-up time, don't worry, what's about to happen, and you need to pay attention. Like, that's why it's almost kind of, like, underwhelming. You're like, wait a second, he just got beat up, and now he's got helped, and, like that would be like telling the Good Samaritan story in like 2 shots in a way.
Yeah.
You know? But there are some great long shots. Like this long ass shot. We didn't even mention how long this shot of them walking with the bed in this
it's
shot.
long.
Like across the street. Like you're almost begging, like, what's going on? Like, and then we see like him crawling in the foreground too. Like
they're like carrying it honestly like a funeral casket.
Yeah.
Probably.
See, do they see it as just like they got lucky because they found a bed in the trash can?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's what we're supposed to see.
That's what it feels like to me for sure. Like,
so it's almost like we're seeing these like almost terrible moments, but they're almost like amazing moments to them because it's like, oh, this amazing moment of finding a bed in a trash can, and then all of a sudden that leads to a great moment of, oh, it's like we can help this guy, who just got beat up, but like it's like a garbage bed, but it's like seen as like amazing thing all of a sudden, you know, like just from perspective. But
no, it is because like it leads you to like you already said, like ask why they even need the bed, and then you get to like where they're living, you're like, oh, this is why they need the bed, basically. Like they're living in, like the building that they're in is literally like it looks like an abandoned building.
Oh yeah,
that's just, it looks like the slums, man. Like
no, it does.
I mean, but I mean they are there and they're taking care of Kong, and this is really where like he's starting to like parallel the two different types of care, because as we're seeing like Kong getting taken care of here in the house, I think it gets like cut back to
we do
the other shot of or the envelope patient, his like the beginning of his care that we start to see from She like the rest of this movie. Kind of insane, honestly. Like her care, like we'll get into like exactly what her care entails, because you also feel bad for her at the end of the day too, because she's also a migrant worker in this place. That's kind of like she's working as a waitress and as like a nurse for the same person, like for the same like lady that doesn't want to take care of her brother but kind of does. I don't know. Like it's really weird. That whole situation is just kind of like really weird. This is like a classic
like side thing where like we're trying to describe these relationships, but we're not sure 100%.
Well, we're just like, what?
Like, are they? Wait, does she actually play both?
No, okay. Nothing beats Stray Dog though. We're like, wait, hold on. Are they all the same movie?
Are they all the same?
Like when we thinking that was like.
No, but I know like her various roles throughout the movies could become kind of confusing in a way.
No, they do.
But like, but I think that's kind of the point. Like, she does play all these kind of roles, but she, just for sure, she is the same character, right?
She is, yes.
Okay. Love it. Because for a second it confused me when she does have the two different jobs. I'm like, wait a second.
No, it's the same person because she's living in the attic.
Because she's the one that you could say connects the two.
Yeah.
Lee Kong's too. In a
she
way.
Does, yeah.
If there's any really connection between them, but like that's the only one.
I mean, we'll get to the shot of Lee Kong Chien looking through the floorboard at himself, basically, because that's like that shot. You're just like, I don't know what to think of the shot, basically. Like I don't know what side's trying to tell me here, but
I mean,
it's like surreal. Like,
What's the which side movie is it where like Lee Kong gets like all the like flames on his back and stuff and like starts to go back? That's Days.
Yes. Did that also happen in the river?
That also happens in the river,
okay.
But Days is the one where the coal actually starts getting on.
Yeah.
Like
But
honestly,
you can make the coma patient also just another way for Psy to get like just to torture Lee Kong. Because the scene when he's getting
torture love.
He's getting his teeth clean is like so insane, like with the smile, like he's like that frozen smile he has the whole time where he's like getting his face.
He's so happy to be there.
It looks terrible.
It looks awful, dude. All the things of her cleaning him look terrible. But like we get like a little bit of this this storyline basically of her cleaning him, and then we get back to like that abandoned building where they're both where like Kong and the Nice Man are living, and we see like the man's cleaning the bed now because he's obviously wanting to clean, like it was in a garbage can, but Kong has to go to the bathroom. And this is like also where the poster comes into play, because one thing about the poster in this movie is Psy fought really hard to like get the poster to be the man like having his arm like around Lee Kong Chien's waist as he's like peeing with his like pants down below his butt, because he's like because I think Psy said that's what the movie's about basically, is like just this man literally being willing to help with anything.
I don't know what poster you're saying. The one where all three on the bed is the one.
No, that's the one. That's not the actual official poster. But the official poster is like literally the shot of him just like standing there with just ass bare. Ass bare as the other guy's like helping him piss.
Hey,
it's really sweet though. It's a really sweet moment. Yeah, you can look it up on Larry.
Would you let me help do that for you?
Not unless I needed it, but maybe if I needed it.
Would you help me in that situation?
Weston's had to help a friend, or not Weston. Danny's had to help her friend Weston do that before. So.
Would you help me in that situation? Would you be a real friend? Would you be like Hank or the other guy? Actually, no.
Would I be the kind man?
Yeah.
No, you'd be like the guy that was in the movie. We learn a lesson, but we really don't.
Yeah, like that's so nice. I'm never doing that. I mean, I don't know if I will either.
But it is sweet that he does it. You know?
Yeah.
It's just it's very sweet in my opinion. But
I feel like Psy has another movie where someone helps someone pee too. If I'm not wrong.
Well, there's a lot of pissing. In
there's a lot of pissing in all of
those
movies.
What time's it there, especially?
Maybe not.
Maybe
helping him pee. I don't remember. I don't remember about helping, but
Well, there's helping drunk people, but I guess that's not really.
Maybe not. It's been a while since we did the side series, you know.
Yeah,
it's not fresh on mine.
There's the famous one, Goodbye Dragon Inn, where they're all just peeing in the next to each other. That was amazing. No, but then we get our first shot of like this like chasm, or at this like random construction site or something. Like we don't even we never know what this is.
Yeah,
like we don't know what this is.
It's just so random. Yeah.
It's just like I said before. I don't
kind
know.
of like honestly, first thing when I glanced at that is like the first thing I think was parking garage. I don't know why.
Looked like an apartment building or something.
Like maybe like an abandoned parking garage.
Maybe.
I love the fact that you could just. The fact that we could just put whatever you want to here.
Yeah,
like,
honestly.
It's literally it's unfinished, but you're like, oh, it could
it's
be
size
this,
canvas,
it could
really.
be that.
It's
yeah,
like
exactly.
size blank canvas.
He uses it so well. Plus, it might not like all the same shots we get at the same place might not be the same place like in real life. I'm thinking
maybe
like
that
stairs and shit.
Yeah, that must be a separate location. And he just because film that's what it can do. It can make you feel like it's one place. You know, or the same way Dream does. Like,
but this hole though. Or this cabin, whatever you want to call it, it's fucking insane. Like I said, I don't
and
know
honestly, the sounds too of like the construction too, it's like really rhythmic. I don't know if this is the one you're talking about, but
I think it is because this is the only one where they're actually working. I'm pretty sure because everything after this is just dreamlike essentially.
Yeah.
But I mean,
he's also living
here,
slaps. Or this is where Lee.
No, this isn't where either of them are staying yet. This is where they come to whenever they move out of the other place. I don't know. Do you remember that? Like they take.
I remember when they move. They're like,
yeah. They take the bed out to
the
this
main features of this movie is just watching this people move this bed to different places.
Like, yeah, honestly.
Yes, this bed is their life, Dan.
Yeah.
But after that, we do see like cut back to like the primary, like this kind man also just taking care of Lee Kong-shin again at the site where they live. And it is very intimate, just like very intimate, very like a lot of like loving care, and like I said, like that the rose anytime he's taking care of them is always like very prominent. I feel like just that like rose picture is just always like, very prominent. Yeah. But then we just get more great shots of like the hole, and then we have like Kong awaking in bed, and like I have like in my notes I just love the shot of him staring at like this makeshift compress that the man made, because like before the man like went to work he had like this green juice. Like that's another thing in this movie, there's like juice in bags a lot, and I don't know, I want to try it. I don't know what it is, but there's a few different cases of people having like either green or red juice in a bag, and I'm just like, that has to taste fire.
No, that's definitely a thing, and like it must be all over South Asia and stuff. Cause yeah,
I just want to know what it tastes like. But yeah, there's just this amazing shot after like Lee Kong-shin wakes up. He like throws that like compress out there like with the green juice and just kind of like stares at it, and the light's like falling on, and there's a certain way. I don't know. It reminds me of like the lighting of like the bed or something in BB a little more. Like
honestly, yeah.
Like just this thing of like I don't know, desire maybe, but But after this, it does cut to Chien, Italy. It's like, let me in.
Got something to say.
Got something to say. No, but it cuts to Chien, and she's like, Jesus Christ. She's like back at the invalid's house, and this is like one of the scenes where we really start to see the type of care she's getting, because it's like just a full body wash essentially. Like she starts with his teeth, and then like we see her like just completely bathe him, and it's like, damn, this is rough as hell, man. Like she's being extremely rough with this man.
Yes.
And it's one of the better cut, like one of the best. I'm probably gonna say this for every cut that he makes between the two styles of care, but like he has like her doing this care, and it's cut directly to like the man just feeding Kong like really nicely, like his dinner basically. He's just like,
I mean, honestly, this is the scene I was talking about where this is like the best one of that example we're talking about, where we get these various these two different types of care you get, because like there's so many different ways he contrasts it. Like at first it's just definitely the care alone, right? Like he's fine
he's fine,
but damn, no, okay, let me start over. So we can't keep letting this cat get away with it.
No, we can't. It has to.
But so the main way is obviously through kind of what's going on actually by the care, right? Like this kind of rough care he gets versus kind of the loving care Lee Khan gets, but I guess they're both Lee Khan.
Yes.
But, you know what I mean? But like honestly, like what makes it really stand out is two things I really noticed. Is it kind of made me notice like what one of the things I really love about Tsai, which he's like one of the best at, is how he changes from really loud sounds to like all of a sudden like super quiet sounds.
Yes.
Because like in this first one we get like she's taking care of him and it's like super loud.
Just the scrubbing and shit.
The scrubbing and all of it is like really, you can hear the kind of just like hospital noise in the backgrounds, you know. And then all of a sudden it cuts to hit them being taken care of and it's like really quiet, you know, like more like at home. And then the other really example is also it goes from really bright in like the hospital, like these really bright LED, you know, those kind of lights. Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But and then the house they're in is like really dark.
Just like natural lighting.
Yeah,
I don't
natural
think there are any lights.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. And you just get that all of that one moment. You know, you kind of just feel it, and then you really have to think about it later to see like why that actually is. But it's just like all those little moments I is so good at, kind of just those contrasts. That's why it's like we'll get it. I think it's actually really right after the scene where we get him taken care, like he gets taken care of, and then it's them watching the movie, or is it other people?
Them watching the movie. Oh, you mean the song?
The song.
Yeah.
But they're actually it's part of the movie. I think
It might be a movie. Yeah, I can't remember.
That's what I'm saying. These are all songs.
Yeah.
This is like maybe he's kind of commenting on, maybe not, but it's like this is why a lot of people would watch Indian movies. It's for the songs, you know, because
Cat's insane.
No, I mean they're both used to going out there.
Acrobats.
Fun place to be. No, but this is how like a lot of like music is, and especially in India, it's like through the movies, which was also annoys a lot of people about the movies, but because like you can kind of like just break narrative all of a sudden. But you could say that's what annoys people outside movies. It's like there's like
there is no narrative.
There's no narrative, but there's also songs, you know, in the middle of them. So maybe there's like kind of hints at narrative, or maybe narratives.
Yeah.
No, I do love this song though. It's just like the guys just sitting around, just like watching this movie. It's so fucking good. But
just eating too, which I love.
Yes.
Like, guys being dudes.
Just guys being dudes.
Who doesn't love just eating?
Eating and watching an Indian movie.
Eating and watching an Indian movie, exactly, dude. No, the first time I watched this, like it hit so hard for me. Too. I'm like, damn.
Well, you didn't know that I liked Indian movies, so.
Yeah, I don't.
Or maybe
think
you did. I don't know.
think I did. Yeah.
Is there like is there any directors he named or anything? Like,
I don't know. They would know.
I wonder if you like
know,
Money
actually.
Call or something. Like,
I don't know.
be
But more like
interesting.
Bollywood, I would think. Like,
Okay.
I know that in one of the books I read, they mentioned Hanuman.
Like,
there
that's
was
like
a
an old
Hanuman
Indian
movie.
character.
Yeah, there was like a
I don't know what
Hanuman
movie he's
movie that
talking
I
about,
watched.
though.
I think it was like 1950.
because there's like
or something.
to see how popular that character is. There's literally a movie that came out, I'm pretty sure, like in January this year about Hanuman again. I think it's actually just called Hanuman, but I forgot. Just so there's a bunch it could be. I don't know what movie he's talking about.
Yeah.
There's so many. But yeah, after we see like this difference of care, we'll just say in that song, we see like the kind man drags the bed up to his house, or up to his room basically, and then he just kind of sits there and admires his work. He really does though, because he just starts like drinking. He just does, it's like just one of these moments where you're just allowed to sit and like look at a room, which is really nice, because the room tells you a lot about the persons in these movies. So
and this is where it's like if you do get buy into a side movie, you can really like kind of like you get these like moments of gratification almost with the character, where like you get this long shot of him carrying the bed up the stairs, and you're like, oh, why am I watching this? And then, like, no, not but in a good way. But
yes.
But then he just like lays down. And he has this like heavy
So
sigh. I'm like,
satisfying.
oh, it's like just so satisfying as a viewer. Like, oh, damn.
You like take the breath with him.
Yeah, you just like take that breath with him.
He drinks out of his little juice again.
Yes,
like
yes,
damn,
that's
I
it.
want to taste what's in those juice.
You're like, oh, okay, it was worth it. He has a
It was
reward.
worth
He had a
it.
reward at least. Waiting for him.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's keep you going through the day.
Exactly.
But then directly after this, this is like just more of just Tsai's like master editing basically, because we have like a cut straight to like he loves doing like these news dumps basically in an actual like newscast where people are just listening to like the news, and so like it's just this one like news story about like how new mattresses help your like life get better or something. Because we just like watch this guy drag up this new mattress to his room, and then like we're hearing about like all the benefits of like a new mattress.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize
in the
that.
endless house, but yeah, though, after this we just see like she's working as a waitress at this place, because we haven't known that yet. All we've seen her do is be a nurse, and now we see like the lady that she works for and her, and they are also working at a restaurant. And you're like, okay, I don't understand.
Yeah.
She's just, I guess that part of her, like, it feels like she's a slave almost. Like, it really does feel like she's a slave.
That's why I'm like, this is not a real movie. Like, these aren't real characters. Like, there's some kind of dream element. Honestly, this is kind of a good, like, way to watch some of Buñuel's later movies.
I can see
where,
that,
like,
honestly, yeah.
Like, not everything is going on is exact. Like, the way he switches from reality to a dream is, like, never... It's filmed the exact same way, and he doesn't want... He almost wants you to think about, why are you thinking it's a dream versus reality, or whatever.
Well, isn't there, like, a fairy tale that kind of is like this, where, like, there's, like, this, like, girl living in an attic that has to take care of someone? I don't remember. I feel like this could be in a fairy tale, though.
Well, because
Cinderella's got like this thing where it's like she's got this evil stepmom, basically.
Well, did you know he made this?
Like
I'm glad you said this because I was reading this interview about Tsai, and you know why he made this movie was apparently for like the Philharmonic in Vienna for like Mozart's birthday.
Or
Beethoven's birthday. I forgot whose birthday it was. Fuck, I don't remember which composer it was. But this was the movie he made for it, and he was like. He said like there's no direct connection though. But that was like they literally funded this movie.
Damn.
And apparently the story in that there's like there's some kind of attack that happens, and like this last towards the end of the movie where we get like the kind man kind of turning him on. You think he's like about to kill him. Apparently that's like a big part of the movie, the story. Damn, I gotta find what the song what the opera is called or whatever, but
so it's an opera.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's just always something I think of because like you always have like these characters in fairy tales that I feel like even Harry Potter's kind of like this, where he's living with like these people that don't love him, and he's like literally stuck in a cupboard.
Yeah.
Like she in this movie is literally living in an attic. Being forced to take care of this man and work as a waitress, all just to live here in Malaysia, apparently.
Just to survive.
Just to survive, so... But, after all this happens, we see, like, Kong comes back to the kind man that's taking care of him, because, like, I think that he was also at the restaurant kind of eating with Chi at the same time that she was, like, working there. But he comes back at night to the place where the kind man lives. And it's, like, really funny because, like, the man, like, he has, like, his friend sleeping with him, and he just, like, tells his friend, like, hey, move over.
Yeah.
And your friend's like, I always hate, why do you always bring strangers up here to sleep? He's like, because he's like, go your usual spots. But, yeah, then Kong just, like, comes up, and they just, like, lay down and sleep together. It's really interesting. Like, I don't know, because, like, after this, it's got, like, another song play. It has, like, another, is this another one of the Bollywood songs? I can't remember if this is Bollywood one or if it's not.
I don't think it is Bollywood.
I don't remember if it is or not, but it has like one of the songs just like play as like after they're like in bed, and the song is something like about like pitiful love. As we're like we just had like that scene, but then we also are watching like I think it's the like
it's the coma one.
Yeah, the invalid is like getting taken care of again, basically. But because it's like I think this one's the sister is like. You don't know what's really happening. You feel like she's she's about to jerk him off because she's like rubbing his like groin and shit with like all that like lube. But like it doesn't like nothing really happens. Like you can't really see anything, and we're just like it cuts to like Chi up there, and she's just like watching from above essentially, like she's looking down through the crack.
And I found it. It's from Mozart's The Magic Flute. It was for the city of Vienna's 2006 New Crowned Hope Festival, which was celebrating 250th anniversary of Mozart's birthday. So he made this movie.
He made that movie for this.
Which is like it makes when you learn that it makes it make no like it doesn't help you at all. It makes you ask way more questions.
Yeah, it's like more confusing now.
But he says like and actually he says it's the opening song on the radio playing is from the.
Oh no!
The
it sounds like it's classical music. That's playing
I think I think there's some classical throughout a little bit. I think it's from this Magic Flute.
Well, I'm pretty sure that last song is also a classical song.
I think it might be from this too. Which I just would have loved to see like whoever funded this, like the
no, it's honestly
watching this.
Like,
honestly, so what? Wait, because
like you remember the story about the Messiah. It's kind of like that situation where the weird Christian guy, but when he saw it, he like
okay, but to be honest, that one's at least a little bit more about Jesus than this one is about Mozart.
Yeah, I guess. But it's so funny. He's like it wasn't even because like he was offended by it. He's just like it was boring. I want to recut it.
It is. It makes sense when you learn that because it made me want to learn about the magic flute or kind of learn what that story is about because. It's one of the more dramatic moments we do. I'm like skipping to the end of it, but it is one of the more dramatic moments we get in like a side movie in general. Like this super close up, like someone about to kill someone else, and it like really hangs on it too.
It does kind of make sense. No, yeah, we'll definitely get there because I love it's one of Tsai's more interesting uses of like close up because he does use close up a lot, but not for usually a not intensive moment, but.
It's more like Lee Kong getting like his like face scrub or something.
Like that happened in this movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Or sex. No. So after we see like more of the invalid getting more of his care, like it kind of cuts back to the bed again, and apparently the bed reeks because they take the bed out and like started like spraying it down with shit. And then after this, I don't really know what happens because it's just like Kong kind of goes away from the place and he just like goes and like sits down next to like this glowing like patch of things like outside this like building. He ends up buying like one of those like glowing things that like blinks and stuff, which that'll also be coming back because it's a great shot in general because I love just all those like glowing like little flashing things. But he just like goes and like buys one of those, and I think he eventually ends up getting that cheap, but we'll get to that in a second.
Honestly, I think I don't know if it's the reason why it's there, but the funniest part of this whole scene is when he bums a cig from this guy at the end. Because all he has to do is just a hand motion, and that's all he needs is to get a cig from the other guy.
It works.
Because that's where he cuts right after that. It's like this whole scene where he walks across, sits down, waits for the other guy to come sit, and then he's like...
This is the moment Blake knew. He was watching one of the various
films. It's all relatable.
Oh my god.
So him deep. I mean, that's like, you don't need to communicate. All you got
exactly.
That's all you need.
You do this or this. Either one.
But the next scene is like really kind of a hard scene to watch because like you're watching Chi bathe the invalid again. And she's like literally leaving him face up, like plastered against the railing on the bed as she like goes and gets perfume to like do her job like worse. Because instead of washing like she's supposed to, she starts like spraying him down with perfume.
Damn, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's like really like kind of like you're just like damn, but
taking shortcuts.
Yeah, and she's literally just leaving like face up against like the fence, like against like the railing of his bed. But then people just start walking in out of nowhere. And you're just like, who the hell are these people? And she's also thinking the same thing because she like covers up Kong with the blanket, and we see like some like I think it's the brother of the sister that's taking or like I don't know, it's like the brother of the invalid maybe. I don't. It's a family matter. Like one of the family members is selling the house the invalid's living in, and so.
It's like, honestly one of the weirdest scenes in the movie too, because you're like, it actually looks like a movie set in a way.
It does,
or it looks like an open house or something.
It looks exactly like an open
house. Or kind of like an open house, but like an IKEA or something. Because they're like because you can see above the walls. There's like open space above like the top of the walls, kind of. So it's like it's a movie set or something. Like
I mean, yes.
And then you're like watching this little kid just like watching this guy like up close.
No, it's just so weird. Like, why would you do an open house whenever your brother's literally getting taken care of and not tell anyone? But I don't know.
Well, doesn't someone come and get mad at her?
Someone gets mad at Chi.
I think it's her parents.
No, someone gets mad at Chi for covering him up.
Well, someone says you never come and visit anymore or something. And they slap her.
Oh, slap Chi?
Yeah.
I didn't know if that's I don't know why they slapped her.
Maybe that's not her parent. Maybe
no, that's not the parent that slapped. Like the person that slapped Chi was the sister.
Oh, it's a sister.
And I always assumed it was because she covered him up, because she literally threw a blanket over Kong, like the invalid, like Kong, like the paralyzed guy. She literally just threw a blanket over him so no one would be able to see him.
No, I remember that. Yeah.
So that's always why I assumed she got slapped, but.
Because I think that she says something. The other character says something like, "You never come and visit anymore," something like that. So,
I don't know.
But yeah, either way, I don't think it's supposed to be.
It's just like a very weird situation because you're like, damn, these people like don't even want, like, they're selling the place their brother's, like, living in, like,
Yeah.
and where is he supposed to go? He's literally, like...
Basically, I think the main part of all is just, like,
literally
he's, like,
brain-dead.
super helpless. Like,
He's literally
we're supposed to
helpless.
get, like, how helpless this guy is. Like, he can't help anything that's going on around him. Yeah.
It's very sad, honestly, but yeah, like, after we get all this, it's, it also kind of, like, leads to this weird part, because then it's, like, Chien and Kong just kind of walking around for a little bit. We see they, like, go to a hotel for one, or, like, you think that Kong's gonna, like, take her to where the bed is, originally, because they're, like, where the, like, there's, like, roaring water and shit,
Yes,
and then, like, she just walks away, and then they end up going to a hotel, and at the hotel, they're like, yeah, you can stay here, do you have, like, a passport? Do you have an ID? And then you just see both of them walk out, and you're like, damn. Damn, they're both illegal, like, migrants to Malaysia, basically. And so what ends up happening is Chi goes back to the restaurant and, like, goes up to her room, you assume, but we don't really know because we see Kong just putting eyeballs at the sister of the invalid. And then, like, we just get him walking down this, like, dark alley and her following him, and then they just kind of have sex.
It's like a...
It's really weird. Yeah, I mean, it's really weird.
It's one of the strangest sex scenes I've ever seen.
It's so weird.
Well, I was going to say, this is like in a way, a classic Psy mating scene, though.
It is.
Like, the way they kind of walk back and forth to each other.
Oh, yeah,
'cause
that
he mentioned
definitely.
I was more just talking about the
part.
actual, like...
No, the actual conclusion... Well, I think it's almost to show, like, just how lonely they both are, I guess, in a way.
Probably.
Yeah, it's like, and like they're in a damn...
Because it's almost... It's, like,
dark,
really sad. I think he's trying to
like,
emphasize how
alley.
sad it is, you
Yeah.
know? Like, in this, like, kind of abandoned place.
How
Like,
desperate
just,
it
yeah,
is,
exactly.
yeah.
That desperation, basically.
And this also isn't true love because we see how true love actually
Transactional
is.
it is, it feels like.
It definitely feels. This one just feels completely random though,
It
because
does,
they're literally
like-
just giving them like giving each other eyes. But
Yeah. No, it's very. I guess you can come in. You can maybe read some of the earlier scenes. I guess in this way, if like they were giving each other eyes earlier too, maybe.
well, I don't think they'd ever met before.
Not like earlier. He was at least outside the cafe earlier.
Maybe I don't.
Because when he walks across the street.
Oh no,
to
that
that's
that
same
part's
cafe.
that's where he's making eyes at her. Yeah, that's the first time they see each other.
Okay,
I'm
so
pretty
they have
sure.
seen each other, and obviously he probably knows they've been around each other. but-
Maybe I don't know about obviously.
Doesn't
This
he?
man just,
He
like,
lives
got
upstairs, right?
Who?
Or-
Kong?
no, like, or his girlfriend works there.
No, well, I mean, we don't really know who Chi is to him.
Are they not dating? I
don't know.
I don't know.
No.
You don't know if they're dating or not in
That's
this movie.
true.
Like, you don't really know what they are to each other, really.
Yeah, that's true.
Because from what we find, like, from what we know, like, we don't know if Kong's been here for a while as an illegal migrant, or if he just, like, got here, like, 2 days ago whenever he got beat up.
Yeah.
But after that, like, sex scene, it's super weird because, like, that's definitely, like, a dreamlike scene in general. But then, like, he literally cuts to the guy, the like, man, the kind man, finding Kong asleep on the sidewalk. So that could have easily been a dream. You don't know. Like,
Honestly.
should have just been completely in his head. Because
Yeah,
that's what he.
that kind of would make sense.
Because
See,
him and
that
she
would
were
make
wanting
sense,
to
like the
have
Buñuel
sex.
thing I was saying, where like you think, oh shit, this guy's cheating on his wife, then all of a sudden he wakes up, it's a dream, like oh, but he
Yeah.
wanted to do it, you know. So that's
He
kind of the bigger
wanted-
point.
Yeah.
Like that would actually make sense, you know. Like maybe
It does.
if that whole sex scene was a dream in a way. Like this is kind of just what Lee King thinks about, like, or I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, like they do. He just finds him on the side of the street and just wakes him up and gives him a smoke, and then they go carry the bed together. They just go carry the bed together, and then like the next scene is also a really hard scene to watch, but I still don't know the composition of the shot and how Psy got it, honestly, because like it's the scene of the sister making Chi jerk off the invalid like brother, basically.
With the mirror.
Yes, it's
With-
an insane.
Honestly,
shot.
I was trying to figure this. I'm glad that you said it because I thought I was going crazy because like
No, I have no idea.
how
what shot
is this
happened.
2 shots? Because like
Yeah, honestly.
It's insanity.
we might be
So
using
like
it for the podcast.
the thing is you see the shot opens, you just see the sister basically. She's like she is massaging her back with oil, and she's just sitting in front of a mirror. And originally you can't see anything else because like she's on the right side of the screen, she's just the other one's just like right in the middle, and so you're just like, okay, she's just in front of a mirror. And then she bends down, and you see Kong's face and like the background here, like just a little bit if you're looking. And then like eventually she like the sister goes around the mirror along with Chi. You still see Chi a little bit in the foreground, like in the corner, but you see everything like them just like jerking this dude off in the mirror, and I'm like, how? how are you seeing this? Like, I don't know how he got this shot. How he got this shot, man. There are some shots that Tsai always has in his movies. I'm just like, bro, I have no idea how you got this shot. But this is one of the like best.
It basically looks like there's like multiple versions of Chi jerking him off at the same time.
It does.
Because like there's the mirror version, and there's also at the very corner you actually see a real body.
No, yeah,
too.
that's
So it's like, yeah, I should go watch this again too. Because like, this is what I'm saying. Like Tsai has a bunch of these moments where like he just like makes you pay attention to the frame to see what's going on, like to literally figure out what's going on. Yeah. You know, not giving you anything.
Like, because she literally walks around the mirror. Like, they walk around the mirror, and then you're seeing everything happen still. And I'm like, how?
But, like, in a way, we're not seeing it. Like, but
you don't see anything. You don't see any faces. All you see is the actions.
And, like, because normally, like, saying,
we gotta have, like, some, like, soundboards, like, Deleuze saying, like, wait, what that
But, yeah.
But it is a great shot, though.
Just an insane shot. But right after that, we have like this cut to another just famous shot in this movie of just the Kai man staring at Kong as he sleeps. Like they're just kind of like sleeping face to face, and he's just staring at him. It's very reminiscent of Viva l'Amour. Honestly, because there's a shot of Kong doing the exact same thing to Ozu, I think, in that movie. But Kong ends up doing the same thing. Obviously, they never meet the eyes, obviously, because that doesn't happen inside movies. This also happens at what time is it there? Now I'm thinking about with Chi's character in France. She has the same thing with the girl that she's trying to sleep with in France or in Paris. But this is it. We see it they like set the bed where the hole of water is basically, and then it cuts directly to Chi crying in the attic upstairs, which is kind of just sad. But then it cuts to, like, probably the best shot in this movie, my favorite shot of just moment in the movie, my favorite moment. I still don't know what this. Like, this moment could mean anything.
Well, because I'm glad you said, because I have a quote about Tsai says. Well, say the moment first.
Okay, so the moment is Kong is just sitting at the chasm with the fucking fishing pole, and he's got this giant moth with him, and the moth starts flying around, and then the moth eventually disappears, and then in comes the kind man. They're both just kind of like sitting there. But this could mean a lot of things, like fishing for, I don't know, purpose. I don't know. That's like they're just like. This because the chasm, I don't know what the chasm means in this movie. Like it could mean like just your heart, honestly. Yeah. Like the more I think of it, and the more I think of the ending, it feels like this is the heart. Like this is the heart of a person, basically.
Honestly, it might be the heart and mind combined in a way. You know, like the various kind of like paths and like just thoughts it has, and almost how the heart and the mind are the same in a lot of ways. But let me read you this quote because. No, it's honestly one of my favorite shots, too. The way he cuts from wider to, like... You see the moth up close on the shoulder, and then it cuts wide when it starts flying, and then the friend comes...
And then you just see... once it cuts wide, you're
just it's very similar to these, like these perfect wider and wider shots, like I was saying with Ozu in that one scene I was describing earlier. But, like, that kind of just, like... A little bit more information being revealed with, like, every little wider shot. But let me read this quote, because the interviewer asked him... my favorite image, and I Don't Want to Sleep Alone, also beautifully photographed by Liao, was the shot of the moth on Lee Kong's shoulder. Can you talk a little about that? And he said, that particular scene was the one that all of a sudden made me realize what I was doing, or what I wanted to do. The whole movie is like a dream. It's like the story I was telling the other night about the great philosopher Zhuangzi, Zhuangzi, who dreamt of a butterfly when he woke up, but he wasn't sure if he wasn't still actually in the dream of the butterfly who dreamt of being Zhuangzi. That particular scene, that particular frame you're talking about, made the movie philosophical.
It's so good.
They spelled it differently, but that story is normally known as Zhuangzi's butterfly, which is why I was getting confused with the name. But they spelled it differently than I say it. But you know that story, right?
I'm a king that dreamt I was a butterfly. Dreamt I was a king.
Exactly. Which is one of my favorite stories.
I love it, dude. No, because that's how this scene feels very specifically, for sure. It feels like a dream. Oh my god. And you don't know whose dream. Like, is that butterfly the paralyzed man? I don't know.
And dude, this is why. Side note: you guys need to watch Youth Without Youth.
Without Youth.
It's a very similar subject matter, and it kind of has that same story in it too, in a way.
Does it have a shot as good as this?
It has some shots as good as this. This is amazing shot.
Which one's better? Pick one.
No, I can't.
You have to do it.
No, they're different.
We're not going to move on.
Same tier.
Same tier.
Get around it. No, but I love how that he mentioned that story too. Because first of all, I just love that story. It's just like it's a fun way to kind of make you think about like reality in a different way almost. But it goes also to how we've been describing this movie. You know, like what is this movie in a way? Like, is it a dream? Is it actually really going on? I mean, that's a famous theme for us throughout a lot of our movies.
Yeah,
it's true.
We don't know.
It doesn't matter, which is the bigger point, right?
Doesn't matter, yeah.
At least in a film, anyway.
Oh, yeah, that's so good though.
Illusion's just as real as reality.
Yeah.
Can be, at least. Yeah.
I mean, an illusion is real in the fact that you're saying it's real, right?
Yeah.
As humans say, it's a matter of fact.
I like that.
More matters of fact happen after this as we get facts of wildfires breaking out in this around this capital of Malaysia. Once again delivered to us from the TV, like he loves to do this, obviously, like I've said before. But I mean, this is kind of like political backdrop. Honestly, it's not like political, but Tsai has like these movies where it's like the whole is like this pandemic that broke out. This one's like wildfires because of something, but like obviously we're seeing nowadays like wildfires are breaking out even more and more. But
you just
like this is like the stuff that real people would actually be able to identify with, especially if you live in parts of the world like this where it's just getting worse. Like stuff like this is just getting worse, especially since this was like made 18 years ago. But the city's essentially changed after this. Like we see the care the invalid's being given is a little bit different than everyone else because he obviously can't move, so they have like just this giant bag like over his head. But we're just seeing like everyone's reaction to this event that's happening, or like this wildfire that's happening, because like we see, like I said, the like invalids getting taken care of, but then we see the restaurant like directly after that, and it's just the smoke is literally infiltrating everything.
Yeah.
But I kind of like just watching this scene because you see how everyone else is reacting to it, kind of. Because like you have like people that are like really scared, they have like their masks on. Then you just got like this one guy in the corner that's just smoking a cigarette, not giving a shit. He's just like smoking while the smoke's like coming out. I don't know. It's just really fun.
Yeah.
Like you see various reactions.
Yeah, it's just really fun, honestly.
No, so when I fall, he in his review, it was a short review, but he said smoke shaping empty bodies and spaces. And also, that's a good way to look at it.
Bodies and spaces.
And yeah, he also
I mean that's obviously for this, obviously, but like that song that comes up later literally has something about like we'll get to it, but it's like I think I wrote down like the song is like singing. Even if you're walking through a cloud of smoke or a cloud of dust, I still see you because you're my true heart or something. And it's literally whenever like Kong and Chien are walking through smoke, and the man's looking right at Kong, like watching them. Yeah. But this is just another moment where it's a bunch of people listening to indie music, and it's something where you don't realize why you're here until you find out like like Kong and Chien and all of them are just
like,
right here.
Either pans a little bit to the left. Where
I think he does pan a little bit. I think he makes it a
little
little bit more noticeable after a while because you definitely don't notice at the very beginning.
It's like the camera's like watching the TV like with the rest of them.
Yes.
Which I also love. All these guys are just like watching this whole movie outside the store.
Or just watching this musical number at the very least.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's probably a movie because it's probably in the middle of a movie. You just maybe not, but
no, it does look like it's a movie, or it just looks like whenever we go to like Indian restaurants here, they always just have musical moments playing.
Oh yeah, that's true. Absolutely, yeah. They might just have a video playing a musical.
So, But as this song's playing, this is actually the scene I was just talking about. Like we see Kong and Chien walk through the smoke, and I'm pretty sure it's like literally saying, "I can see you clearly through clouds of swirling dust, my true heart," as he's walking through the dust. But after this, we just get the just insane stare shots because like we have Kong and Chien walking into this building or walking into this place. We have them going through these stairs, and then we have the waitress or like the owner of the restaurant or something. The girl that he had sex with, the sister of the invalid, whatever.
Maybe
had sex with, or he fingered at least, but
in a dream. He desired to.
No, but so we just get like shots of them just like walking in this place, which is really fucking awesome.
It's kind of crazy because they're walking in different directions too. Like
it's just like that one shot, the one shot of them like walking away and then down, and then you see her come up and then go up. It's just insane. Like that's one of the best shots.
There's like water in the middle, like. There's also like that shot you see like two sets of stairs in the kind of foreground, but also some sets of stairs at the very back too, like also going like different places.
It'd be so easy to get lost in this place. It's a maze of the heart, you know.
Honestly, damn, I like that.
But
I like that.
I mean, Chien and Kong are going to go fuck. Obviously, that's what they want to do.
One of the most disgusting sex scenes ever. There's like coffee and spitting each other.
It does start off really disgusting. He just spits right in the mouth. But look at that.
You don't like that?
That's why I was like, are they sick? Because one of them is sick, I think. She seems really sick.
No, it's just the smoke.
Just from the
It's just the smoke.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like, because they get cock blocked, or they get cock blocked by the smoke. Like, they literally can't.
They say, I guess, they're like trying to fight it as much as they can.
They're trying to.
It's kind of romantic in a way.
Yeah, honestly. In a very sad way.
You know, love finds a way.
I have in my notes that Chien and Kong try to power through the smoke to fuck, but they don't succeed.
This is where this is a normal side close up. You know, where it's making you uncomfortable. Yeah,
most normal side close up.
most normal side sex scene.
Yeah, honestly.
Just like the disgusting like.
Yeah, there's no watermelon or cabbage or anything. You know?
Yeah.
Just smoke.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, we get like more stair shots after this because like the girl then does end up falls
in that water. Another classic moment of Tsai like pulling pranks on his character.
Unawares. It's so good, dude. Oh, but this is what you were talking about. This is like a key moment in the movie and one that we don't really see Tsai get this intense very, very much, but we see the man the kind man has arrived, and I don't know if we see him at first or if we're just like looking at Kong like he is. But we see, like, Kong sleeping on the bed. Or wait, that might be a little different. I skipped over it.
We skipped the other shot you wanted to mention, which is Lee Kong looking down.
No, yes. No, I actually was a little bit... I was reading a different note that I had because he arrives at the bed, in quotation marks, where they originally had to find that's gone because Chien and Kong had moved it. Because we do see a scene of them, like, running with the bed as well. Like, they run with the bed back to Chi's place. And that's where the bed ends up being for later. But that's where we get the floorboard shot of him looking at himself through the floorboard. And you're just like, what is going on in this shot? Like, it's one of the best shots in the movie because it just leaves it open to, like, for you to ask, like, what is going on in this scene? Because if you, like, think about it, like, he's looking down at himself as himself is looking up at him because his eyes are open as he's looking up at the ceiling. And so, like, you're like, they're seeing each other. And then the next shot that we get is just Lee Kong Shen sleeping in the bed.
Yeah.
And you're just like, damn, as the man arrives, basically. So you're like, damn, like, where is this all a dream? Is this like reality still? Like, where are we? I don't know, but because like this next scene, like I said, is very intense for a Tsai movie. He doesn't have this stuff in his movies very often. Like, there aren't these like outbursts, at least this type of violent outburst or something like that.
It's kind of this moment feels like a moment in Visage. Something like more like mythological.
Yeah.
This is what I was saying. Like the kind of magic flute makes sense in this one moment, where it's like some kind of like mythological moment or fairy tale. Yeah, something like that. You know, where we've been saying Tsai's movies aren't real, but it's like not real in a different way. They're almost like too real. You know, it's like too real to be real. Where it's like mythological is a different kind of unreal. You know,
it is.
Yes.
But no, but this is. I mean, it's one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. It's just like. It's all just close-ups of their two faces that they're just looking at each other. Because like, it's just nothing verbal at all. It's just he holds the can to his throat, and you just see like the pain in his eyes, basically. Like, because this whole movie, maybe this is the reason he's been helping him. Like, he's wanting someone to love, essentially.
Honestly,
or someone,
I don't want to say for sure, but I'm pretty sure in the interview where I mentioned this guy, he says in Tsai Doesn't Lie how this is like his first openly homosexual movie. Like, this guy's kind of in love with them, you can kind of tell.
No, yeah.
But I was like, that kind of reading makes sense too. And I was going to save the quote for, I'll read it a little bit, but it's basically about that kind of like...
I was going to say, well, View Him More is definitely open. I guess that's more bisexual, actually.
It's bi. Goodbye Dragon Inn's kind of open homosexual.
Maybe not
Not like... complete, like, it's not in the foreground at all. It's just like a bunch of, it's just like this guy's cruising in there wanting to have sex, but nothing ever really happens. So
I feel like this one you could read him.
This one is definitely this one's definitely like he wants Kong.
Especially this moment makes you really think, okay, this guy was in love with this guy, maybe. Or like he thought maybe he was. That's why I feel like this bed metaphor is kind of like where this bed is almost like where his heart is almost at the moment, you know.
Yes.
Which makes it like. That's why, but it doesn't feel like reality either because like they also end up sleeping in the same bed, what makes it feel like it's all someone else's dream, because like why would they all be doing this if they're like their own people, you know? But that's why it's kind of interesting to mix all these.
It really is, dude. Because like the movie really kind of ends fast after like
it's kind of like 20 minutes and like film time, but
it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, the way we talk about it, it's like not that long.
Okay, the light. What is the light thing that's on the bed?
Dude, that little like blinker thing.
Yeah.
No, so that's what Kong bought earlier because we actually skipped the scene of him like fucking with Chi a little bit, like whenever she's like bringing coffee up. It's one of the funnier scenes in the movie, honestly. Because he's just like holds up the coffee cup and like to get her to come back, and then he just drops the present on the coffee tray.
But the way he uses this light at the end,
it's so
like
good.
this is kind of feels a little weird aesthetically, where like
honestly,
he uses these like kind of cheap electronic like toy lights or these.
Dude.
Yeah, basically these cheap electro lights. You see them in South Asia all over the place, like this kind of light, but he uses them like really to make them like beautiful.
I mean, it was sold. I mean, he literally was bought at on the street.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
exactly.
And that shot itself was amazing, even though
honestly,
it's just a bunch of cheap ass lights.
Yeah, there's like blue lights flashing in the foreground of that shot. I know
it's just really pretty. But yeah, like. So the man begins to cry, and then like it's really sweet, honestly. At the end of the day, because like they do end up starting to like touch each other, like touch their face. Their faces, obviously not having actually each other yet. Yeah, I mean that probably happened, but we don't.
We didn't talk about it as much, but we do get hints that this guy is actually not a good guy.
Which guy?
Lee Kong. Or he's not a great guy, because like at least the one scene I'm talking about we kind of skipped over is like where he goes to visit Chi, where she's working at the hotel. And she's like taking that food up to a place.
No, yeah, that's
like,
why I just mentioned.
Oh, you already.
Yeah. I just mentioned it because Luke brought up the little flashing, blinking light.
Oh, okay,
that's.
Okay.
I mean, he's.
Where he, like, takes the coffee
I don't.
From her
yeah,
I
don't think that's him not being a good person. I think that's him fucking with her.
I don't know.
Because
he kind of seems like a dick there. He like literally throws like something he's giving to her. Like
that's
on,
the
like,
that's the blinky.
Oh, that's the blinky.
Yeah, that's the blinky thing.
Okay.
That's why I said it seems like
I don't know. He seems like a dick. Okay, but it's like one of those things where either way.
I don't know.
Of course, Blake's like, no.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy, man.
To me, I really like he's being an asshole right here. Because she seems kind of annoyed.
It's hard for me to hate. I can't hate Lee Kong Shang at all. He's perfect to me.
Okay, yeah, he might be, but the character in the movie, like
Lee Kong Shang is the character.
Lee Kong Shang is always his own character.
He's him and Tsai. That's him.
But either way, it is like a great moment where it's like he's just saying it like doesn't know if he's whether about to die or not, like, and he's like okay. And he starts crying and stuff.
Oh, it's just really sweet. But then after that, like we get like that kind of like conclusion almost, because Chi walks up afterwards, and then she lays down next to Kong. She goes and like gets the blinker light thing and sets it up right next to them, and then really lays down. And then we just get like this shot of her kind of like just rubbing up to next to him, like just like kind of cuddling with him, and then he just kind of like shifts over, grabs her, and then we see the man who's in deep shadow. Like if you haven't seen it before, you don't really think there's probably someone there.
That's what I'm saying. He shouldn't be there. Like logically.
No, yeah.
So that's where it's like, okay, this is not a like real moment in a way, you know.
Yeah, I mean, logically he could be there because like in the movie he was in the bed.
But like, why would she lay down next to him? Why would she be okay with him right there?
Why not? This is a new age, Danny. Polyamorous relationships. No, but they're all just cuddling up next to each other at the end of this. It's just really sweet. But then it's like, it cuts to probably I don't know if it's heartbreaking or if it's like just more confirmation that this is just a surreal dream, which would lead to it also being a little bit heartbreaking, because this is just like all about like a dream in this invalid's head, that him saying, I don't want to sleep alone. Like it just cuts to the invalid, close up, looking up directly at the ceiling, and where all three of them are sleeping, and then it just ends with the water and the bed slowly drifting.
Yeah, I love how it's just like not. It's like at the beginning you don't even see the mattress.
It's
just
slowly
like
floating. It's slowly floating. It's like the
completely silent.
It's like the What Time Is It There, like except longer, because the What Time Is It There one has the luggage floating into frame.
Yeah. How long is this shot?
I think Danny just said 4 minutes, but I didn't time it. But
well, the first 2 minutes like basically silent, and then the music slowly starts, and you get the music kind of.
And it's just one of the greatest endings to any sci movie or any movie ever made. Like if you just have like 3 people laying on a fucking bed floating in the middle of water to end your movie, like with the little blinker thing coming in, like come on, amazing shot. But yeah, it ends with that, with just an amazing ending song too. And that is the end of I Don't Want to Sleep Alone, our last sci feature. So I'm really glad that we got to do this one. I was really.
Well, I wanted to read
this
this quote.
Okay. Yeah, if you have any quotes, get them out now because we don't have any
side
movies.
Science gone forever now.
He'll have another movie hopefully.
But the interview says, "What I appreciate about your film was the suggestion that men could love each other without it having to be a sexual relationship." And he said, "In the Buddhist view, interpersonal relationships are very different. It's not something that happens occasionally. That happens by chance. Sometimes a lot of the interpersonal relationships goes beyond love. It's not just love. And when you're young, you think that love is the only thing you're after. As we get older, as we grow, we find there are so many other things that come with the interpersonal relationship, not just love." And then one more quote one. He said, someone asked him, "Was this film political?" And he said, "I did not want to make a political film. I only wanted to film the body, its suffering, sickness, loneliness, fatigue, longing, aging, and desires."
Damn.
It's like, if
That's
you kind
all
of think of like
filmography.
him just filming those aspects of humanity more than just about characters or anything, the film kind of makes more sense, you know?
I see.
Like,
I mean, you think about his entire filmography is about that, so.
oh yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh.
And good episode, great ass episode. We
Great
went long
ass
as fuck.
episode.
but
I mean,
it was worth
they're
it.
two amazing movies.
Yeah, I knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. This is already one of our best episodes we've ever done, just two individual movies wise.
Yes. We might do Journey in the West at some point, who knows, you know? Can always do a short.
Yeah, we can't leave Sight out forever.
No,
He's
no he'll have a
dead
movie
to
come out in another 5 years, hopefully, you know?
Yeah, we'll make him.
We'll just have to do the Walker series once
We
get
need to
our
kidnap
final
Li
one.
Kang-sheng.
He would be down
Hold him
for
for
it, I feel
ransom.
like. I don't even think we'd have to. I think we'd just ask, "Hey, you want to come with us?" He'd be like, "All right."
Yeah.
I'm
Part of Arkansas?
You want to come to Arkansas, Lee? No. But that's the end of our episode this week. And next week, Danny, you want to kick it off? Because we know what's going to be your series.
We're doing Buñuel, Luis Buñuel,
Luis.
with the Andalusian Dog or Un Chien Andalou, and Los Olvidados,
Or The Young and the Damned.
or The Young and the Damned.
Which is a great English title.
Oh, yeah.
Young and the Damned.
So, two shorter movies,
Two great movies.
but also great movies. And yeah, that'll be exciting. So next week, hope to see you floating through the clouds.